Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Team ban.
Interesting that
10
Lilgun actually
seconds
banned out the
remaining.
Mars in the
Dire
first phase.
team
This is
pick.
something that when they were versus,
Radiant team
it
pick.
was the Brood and the Lycan first phase ban, and then they would instantly pick the Mars because they have a little flex value with it. They've given it to Kishka. He looked really good on the support Mars, and of course 11 plays an incredible Mars as well. And you leave the Lycan in the pool, Parker, it's gonna happen. Lycan, Grimstroke, but you got the Brood because Army Geniuses, they know how to play it. Wommy's got a really good Brood. I know DB does as well.
Dude, this draft is great. I love it. They're like, we're gonna fight cheese with cheese. You know, this is just, they're just trying to one up them.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
With the Inkswell, and they just make plays happen. So we'll see if Army Geniuses are ready for it. Brood, you know, it's its own kind of can of cheese, and that's something which I think Lilgun, with how much they play the Brood, should at least have an idea of how to play against it.
Yes, that's the main thing. At least a team that has, you know, had all the reps you possibly can have. I mean, 4-2-3 plays a really good Brood. 11 plays a really good Brood as well. So both the side lanes know how to play against it. They're also then going to know kind of the counters. And I'm just intrigued to see Army Geniuses if they feel like, because it's interesting. A lot of teams have slightly different reads on heroes. Maybe they feel like the one hero that you might not ban out, whereas the other team, they might feel like that hero is a core counter that you just need to get rid of. So I feel like Conker's pretty stable. I just wonder what the rest of the bans are going to be.
Dire team ban.
Timber so far, yeah. I mean, generally it's just AoE stuff that can defend lanes against the Brood Spiderlings. Like most heroes do fine against Brood these days, early levels. It's what happens when Brood hits level. Like there was a game where I think it was Mizu playing Brood up in Div 1, one of the series. They lost the series but won the game with Brood. And it was just like, the Brood lane was fine, and then Brood hit 6, and then Brood just got a double kill against like the enemy carry plus support. That's kind of where you have to be thinking about what's going to happen when Brood hits 6 and takes over that lane webs plus. And not many heroes can stay in the lane when that happens.
So do you think it's more important to address like the early 5 levels against the Broodmother, or to have multiple heroes that can play that lane?
5 seconds remaining.
Honestly, it's hard to say. I don't feel like I've seen enough Brood to definitively say either way. You know, I feel like, yeah, sorry to give you like a non-answer, but I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I think either approach, I think you need to take one of the two approaches. Like crush the Brood those first 5 levels, like make it so that your carry is like, you know, pick a really strong laning carry, like the Jug plus, like a Jug plus Grim is solid, like if they want to go that way. But they already picked Lycan, so it's a question of like, how do you swap your lanes? Because Lycan against Brood, you're not going to crush this Brood early level. Also, when Brood hits level 6, you're screwed. So maybe sometimes they send the Lycan mid. That's a possibility. Maybe they consider it in the off lane even. They are flexible. Like it's funny because Liquipede actually lists, 4-2-3 and Sanctity as both 1 and 2 position players because of how they kind of swap the roles and heroes around quite a bit on the side. So that's something I would personally expect.
Yeah, this is always something that I've been a really big fan of in regards to Lilgun. It's almost like that previous Liquid quality where you had your Mickey and Quifa kind of rotating around, even the 3 and the 4 with Boxy and Tiger as well, just to flex in a lot of roles. So I think that's always the shining thing about Lilgun, where we've seen kind of we've really seen them through multiple seasons of DPC. Last DPC we saw them in Division 1 for a little bit. They really had that core strategy of cheese, but they have really worked as a team over time to build multiple strategies.
Dude, it's funny you say Liquid because honestly, like my notes about Lilgun was that they were like Liquid, but I was thinking older Liquid. It's similar to also I would say Matu and Miracle, where to me Matu is like the 4-2-3. He'll play like the Lycans and stuff, and then they make Sanctity. He's the guy who's their win condition. Usually. If they have like a super important carry or like the TA, the heroes that are going to win you the game, they usually put on Sanctity. So that's kind of to me how I look at Lilgun with how they decide whether Sanctity is going carry or mid.
I really like that comparison because that's pretty spot on. Like he does play really these flashy win condition heroes. He likes his spirits. He can really perform on them, and I definitely put Miracle into that category as well. But for Army Geniuses with their second phase, they've got the Mirana and the Dragonite. So both supports shown on Lilgun, so they don't particularly have the capability to go for like a hard dispel from one of their supports.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to respond to this one. Timbersaw would obviously be great when you see the DK, but that's already banned out. So I feel like they just lack damage right now, even with Snapfire there. I think just getting some more burst damage to actually kill heroes like Brood and DK is going to be chill because of how mobile Brood is. You need a killer when, like during that first stun, you need to blow her up. Otherwise, she's going to, disengage, use her spiraling to fight or regen back up through her ultimate. So there's just so many things Brood can do that you need to be able to burst her through.
Another quick point on Army Geniuses, there's a lot of flex here as well. DB in the past has played the Dragonite as a carry, and Azura has a really, really good position to Tiny. So we don't really know where any of the heroes are going for Army Geniuses.
Radiant team back.
There's your Brood Mother response. They took their time, but they got there. Just having a hero that can sit in the lane and defend it against the Brood and not be too threatened. But there's a lot of things that can kill Sank. Like it's not like they've just, this Brood still to me has a good game. And they've got ways to, punish. If Sank can try and defend lanes and you rotate on him, like DK, Tiny, Mirana, these heroes have tons of kill threat. So I feel like what Army has done really well with their draft is the heroes they picked around the Brood are like real playmakers and heroes with a ton of kill threat, because you don't want to let the enemy just plop a hero in front of the Brood's lane and defend it. You need to punish anyone who's there defending.
Gives them kind of that damage you were asking for as well, and an even better way to initiate fights.
With the Sand King?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Curious to see what their last pick is. I assume it's going to be Sanctity's hero coming out last.
10 seconds remaining.
Does have last pick of the draft, so he may, hopefully by that point he knows where his lane is.
5
As you kind of mentioned, Army Geniuses
remaining.
have a lot of flex potential with some picks of theirs.
Yeah, he has played the Sand King before, but again, it's definitely not a hero you kind of want to give him. But the Sand King will have a pretty good matchup versus either a DK or Tiny mid. So that's one thing to consider with this on Lilgun. They also have the potential to give Sand King a really good lane. But looking at Army Geniuses next, they have the 23rd pick. Is there any flaws that you can currently see in their draft that they kind of need to cover with the 23rd?
No, I honestly, I think their draft is just solid. Like, I think it's pretty hard to mess up their draft here. Really think that's a thing. Lilgun seem to think they're going for a carry, like they ban Wraith King. I think their draft, it looks most solid with the Brood offlane DK mid. Like, obviously, I think the threat of swapping those lanes is good to still have in case Lilgun do something you don't expect with their lanes. But to me, they just need to pick some kind of safe carry to round things out. Maybe like something strong laning early to mid game, not too greedy, like a Juggernaut type hero would be solid in my mind.
Is that then awkward with some of their heroes? Because I think Mirana has to be like a 4. Brood's going to be played off lane.
Yeah.
Then what, you have a Tiny 5 or Mirana 5? Like maybe you could try and play Mirana 5 with a DK carry just so you have that potential of like a stun into arrow, but it doesn't feel very fluid.
Yeah. No, for sure. They don't have a traditional 5. Like Mirana, if Mirana Tiny supports, like you don't have a 5 position in any traditional sense. It's definitely doable. I think I don't know if it was Army Geniuses, but I saw a 5 position Mirana in one of the games recently where, it just kind of does the same thing as 4, except it's in the safe lane. I think it may have even been Army Geniuses. I want to say I cast it last game with Cyclops. But they go Troll. So this is kind of the strong laning carry. Lilgun they were ready for this. They didn't even care what carry came out. I like the Zeus a lot. Zeus is definitely rising in popularity, and especially some of the European regions. This year, there's nothing really to easily get on top of the Zeus, other than maybe the Brood with her mobility. But I feel like Zeus is in for a good time.
The 5 tiny.
Yeah, that's when's that blink coming? Because you're going to be waiting a long time to see a.
Oh.
I mean, you've got a DK mid, so he can get the blink up. But like, I just feel like they don't have this follow for this DK. Like, he initiates blink stuns. What? Like, you've got an arrow, I guess, but like your damage follow up is a bit
10
lacking.
seconds remaining.
It sounds like you're not a big fan of this Army Genius draft.
No, I don't know. Firstly, Troll. I mean, maybe I need to have a different opinion on the hero. We did see it first phase. It was SMG, right? That went the Troll, and I think I first phase. So maybe I need a bit of a different opinion. DB does play a very good Troll, but I feel like they've got decent stuns. It's still going to be difficult for them to lock heroes in. I also think this is an incredibly free Zeus game. Like you said, this hero's on the rise. Sanctity plays a very good Zeus. You have multiple heroes to place in front of you. It's going to be really difficult to get onto Sanctity, but BKBs are really the time that Army Geniuses are looking for. Like, apart from the Lycan, it's all magic damage. You're going to need to just run over Lilgun with that BKB timing. If you lose that fight, probably the fight after, I'd be very worried for Army Geniuses.
Oh, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, they're going to be going triple BKB very quickly. Like, DK, Blink BKB, Brood, probably second item BKB, Troll. I think same thing, second item BKB, depending, I don't know what the build is on Troll these days. Still Battle Fury or what, but sure, maybe you need some farming item usually on this hero, but yeah, BKBs are a must, and then it's making sure you win those fights, get Roshan. You need a snowball off of those. Like, you've got to win every single team fight once those BKB.
All right, well, here we go. An important series. Just to recap, Lilgun, they do have the capability. If they win this series, then they will secure a slot to be promoted into Division 1 for the next DPC. And well, if Army Geniuses, if they can take this series, then it just makes the last puts us in a position where almost guaranteed tiebreakers, which we want. We always want those tiebreakers for a promotional slot, but these are really the two top of the teams here in Division 2, and the fact that we get to see them battle it out with such an interesting lineup as well. We're always worried about the Lycan onto Lilgun. Well, they get that, but you know, the Broodmother gets slipped on by. Like you said, it's kind of fascinating to see Army Geniuses leave it, snatch it themselves. So regardless, Parker, I think we're in for a very, very interesting game. Yeah, no, I fully agree. There's, you know, definitely some doubts about some parts of, I mean, I think Army Genius is the 5+ tiny, but, you know, you got to kind of respect what a Brood can bring to the table and do in a game. And Womi is very well experienced on this Brood. Take over games single-handedly. And when there's more on the line, you know, pressure's on, there's, you know, potential Div 1 slot in the future after, you know, it's not till after TI and stuff. I'm sure these teams are maybe more focused on trying to make it to TI of the qualifiers, but you want to get top 2 and then go into the new year. If you're a Div 1 team for the new season, you can attract, like, you know, maybe new free agents, whatever it may be. Like, just being a Div 1 team makes such a big difference for any, you know, pro Dota 2 player. And you also mentioned TIs and the qualifiers as well. It's going to be so important just for momentum. I mean, you mentioned while we were off screen that Lilgun, they've won. Can you re-say the number of how many series they've won in a row? Crushing. So they've won 16 series in a row. That includes DPC as well as some smaller third-party tournaments. But in those 16 series, they've gone 27-2 in their last 29 games. Oh boy. Have been, so all those losses, they had Grimstroke, funnily enough. They had the Grimstroke? Oh no, yeah. This is no good. Well, it's a really cool strategy of theirs. They love this Grimstroke. Ace 12 can play it, Kishka can play it. I really rate this hero, Parker. I think this is an incredible support. I'm really surprised we're not getting it as much. Well, what's your opinion on the Grim? Yeah, it does a lot. It's one of those heroes that has a lot of nice combo stuff you can pair with it, not just for the ultimate, but also the Inkswell, of course. You know, their Grim Lycan. I don't think they had Grim Lycan in either of those two games, so it'll be the first time in like the last month or so where they had both these heroes together. Everyone just knows it's their strat and bans it usually against them, so... Stay where you are.
Arrow hits top. They got Sand King. He's okay though.
Bruce has already used his abilities. DB also a little bit of spam. 11, what's he got? Oh, they got the headdress as well from Kishka. So another thing I was kind of expecting that we might see picked up a little bit more was that headdress. I know we've seen it, well, compared to 7.31D and 7.31C. I mean, headdress is definitely on the rise, but I thought it was an item that would be in like 75% of games.
It doesn't seem must buy because I think there was that one patch where it was like a headdress patch, like you'd get double headdress, like one for your safe when off plane, and then the item got nerfed. And now it's kind of at a point where with Sal's getting changed, it seems sometimes teams get it. I'm not necessarily sure when or like what the reason is that you want to get it, like in specific games. Obviously, if you're expecting a harass lane, which Troll is, regen becomes more valuable, and having a headdress just means you're not constantly buying and ferrying out more regen.
Yeah, this is a really interesting lane top. Again, the tiny 5, not your traditional position 5, but Troll Wallet is a incredibly dominant laner. And you always pick this hero just to be able to body the lane. So, and Sand King early on isn't the greatest as well, but they do have a lot of magic damage on Lilgun, the double stun potential as well. So it could be a lane where it goes back and forth, and we're already going to see the damage getting pumped into the tiny.
Yeah, one of the interesting switch-ups from me is this sending Brood mid against the Zeus. Obviously, I don't think many mid laners have played this matchup. Historically, Brood would crush a Zeus mid. But of course, that was also when Spawn Spiderling wasn't your ultimate. These days, I think once Brood gets level 6, it gets hard for Zeus. But pre-level 6, I think Zeus, if anything, has a bit of an advantage. This new Heavenly Jump is such a broken ability.
I just like that Zeus is kind of coming back. I always like to mention that there's some heroes that I haven't, in my casting career, I haven't had the opportunity to cast a lot of these heroes. Pugna was one of them, as we're kind of seeing this broken Heavenly Jump. But it's just nice to see heroes that I haven't been able to cast, coming back into the meta.
Dude, the attack speed slow is honestly like, I mean, the slows that go with it. Like, you can just jump at this Brood and then suddenly the Brood doesn't really want to fight you because of all those slows. I mean, so like it's less than 2-second duration, but it's still something. But I agree with you. It's fun to see Zeus back. I think it's a fun hero. This just explosive amounts of magic damage that can be burst out at any time. The Ag Scepter is a pretty fun Ag Scepter in my mind. Has a lot of useful kind of ways you can use it in terms of the overall strategy. So definitely fun.
It's definitely a hero, though, that I haven't seen as much down in Southeast Asia. Eastern Europe are really liking it so far. Western Europe are liking it as well. I'm just kind of surprised that we haven't seen it as much. And even when it is played, it's not really attempted to flex as a 4. I mean, they are doing that a lot over in Europe.
Yeah, Europe, it's like they'll pick it first phase and then just decide later on whether they want to play it support or core. Some teams really like the core, some happy to switch onto the support. Good to see SEA, and that's, I think, something a lot of the SEA teams have maybe sometimes been a bit slow to adapt to some of the picks and meta of other regions. They kind of would play their own style, which every region does, but we saw at the majors sometimes it's to a fault.
What?
As the SEA teams didn't do particularly well there, so it's good to see. Hey, let's play some Zeus. Let's adjust and try and figure out how good this is.
Mention about this bottom lane real quick. I feel like this is just going to be a farm trade. I mean, you've got a Dragonite and a Lycan. These heroes they're not going to be brought down. They've got a bunch of sustain. So I feel like it's just going to be the carries or the cores getting their farm, and then more emphasis on Numb and starting to maybe try and rotate. Although it's not like he really needs to secure runes though for Wami.
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe I think Wami can maybe do it himself if he feels like he has to. There is a bottle on the Brood, and already they're actually using barracks. He rotates top, grabs the water rune.
He's in trouble for the moment. They've used all their abilities though, so the whirling axes preventing the right click damage. We'll get away. Nicely done on DB. They had a slither of a window there with the support not being nearby. Kishka's, he's still hunting. He's not going to have any mana to spam out the scatter blasting. Now Variz is going to step in with the combo, so maybe the Snapfire tries to bite off more than he can chew. 11's going to jump in, but hang on. DB, he can man fight this. He's got the blind. 11's going to be cautious. Variz doesn't have any more abilities to chuck out through this, but The fact that they win out on this trade, they're still going. They've got tossed back up and they're going to get a double. Oh, Army Geniuses. Beautiful read from DV to stand his ground and man fight with Varese showing up.
Yeah, that was, you know, a bit of a flub from 11 and Kishka. Like, it felt like they just weren't on the same page initially. And then Army Geniuses, just Varese shows up at the right time. Like, the initial aggression from Lilgun was great. Like, this... You've got to punish Tiny leaving the lane. He goes, like, if there has to be a sacrifice. He goes to secure the runes mid and deny runes from Zeus. It means you have to punish the troll who's left alone. So they try and do that. You don't have to kill him, just get him away from farm. But the problem is, Snap wanted to go for the kill, Sankey wanted to go for the CS, Snap overcommits, then Sankey's like, oh crap, he's going in, I gotta go in. So it's kind of like a save your buddy syndrome where, fortunately for Lilgun, they get heavily outplayed there by Army Geniuses. DB just holding his ground and coming out on top.
It's nice that Varese as well is able to get a kill and an assist. You were mentioning like how long is it going to take for him to get the blink? So a little bit of a kill involvement's always going to be nice for the 5 Tiny.
I think it's pre or post 20 minutes.
Oh, I mean, I'll go like 18 minutes. I'll put a number out. Well, but you got to get a lot of, you got to be rotating pretty heavily.
Yeah, and it's not really his job to farm a blink this game. Like, you're not picking the 5 to, like, you pick Tiny early for the flex potential. Maybe he gets a lane at some point. I'm not even sure. Morale owns the lane, so we'll see. I don't think it's a core part of their strategy.
We do have the Broodmother with the level 6 though, so Wami already starting to stack up the Spiderlings, Sanctity. So we've got 3 points in the Arc Lightning, so we'll see how easily he can deal with the Spiderlings.
What is this art scaling? I never looked at this. It goes from 9 jumps to 15. That's actually going to be solid against Brood. Level 4 arc sounds like a good way of dealing with Spiderlings.
But this is just what's going to happen though. Like the emphasis. Kishko? We'll be able to sidestep this thing to the Observer Ward. They're actually going to put the ink spell onto Sanctity, charging through, but Mama will be fine. Yeah, you do.
Like, heavenly jump in. Come on, bro.
New strategy. They don't need the Lycan Grimstroke, because there's Grimstroke, that's good enough.
Yeah. Speaking of Lycan, level 3 wolves, so we'll see if he starts rotating those wolves around. They've already got the invis, and often one of those parts of the Lilgun strategy where, leave the hero in the lane to farm while the wolves go venturing out.
How do you feel like Army Geniuses can play with this first Elder Dragon form, though, on Ariza? Is it just enough to bring them on a bottom and for, like, a little bit of chip damage, or do you feel like they can bring more resources?
I think he's kind of chilling. I think they're still in farm mode. Like, you don't want to group up too much and slow down your farm because of how important these BKBs and timings are. And I think Brood is just going to be power, like farming jungle plus lane and slowly poking it. Brood can take mid tier 1 alone. You just keep sending those Spiderlings in from the jungles over the tree line. Oh, so what was that? Oh, close to getting around at bottom.
It was the wolves and the ink spell that almost brought him down to that threshold where the Zeus ulti was going to be enough.
Yeah, but I think the issue is, like, there's no one that really wants to come and push with the DK. Like, Miran will stay down here. Maybe you can rotate Tiny, but both Trolls just wants to jungle, and so does Brood, right?
I guess maybe the issue as well is the fact that it's a DK bottom. It's not a DK mid. It's much easier to rotate mid. I mean, you're directly in the middle of the map, so you can then... It won't take you as long to go back to either your safe lane or your off lane.
I could see DK rotating. If anyone rotates, maybe it's the DK who rotates mid to try and secure this mid tier 1 tower if Brood can't take it alone.
Dire's middle tower
it does look like,
under attack.
if anything, yeah, Womi at least is coming bottom for now. He's starting to send some webs down there. Maybe it's just to farm the jungle, but it does put him pretty close to this bottom tier 1
Radiant's
tower.
Bottom tower
So they could just look to push this with Dragon Form. I could totally be misreading this.
The Wolves does scout out one coming down though, so they will have at least some information of the Brood's position. Yeah, good luck. I don't know. You deal with a lot of the spiders at least.
Yeah, I'm not sure how easily they take this one. I do think Brood's best bet is just power farming jungle right now. Like, play for your item timings, but obviously Brood is very strong right now. Getting a lot of info. I love the way Womi's using these spiderlings. Like, he's just like sending 4 or 5 out in different directions just to scout enemy heroes and get a read of where they are.
Trying to get Sanctity up top. Nice jump. Just, man. If Ariz was able to get that toss back, they had DB who just TP'd up. Narman was here as well. Very close to getting a big kill bottom lane. Azura, though, is going to be brought down. So it's Ace 12 and 4-2-3 in conjunction together with the Shapeshift. They're able to get their first kill of the game.
I think these heroes in the offlane, like, you got to punish them. That's what they tried to do in Zeus, but like you can't let a DK just play bottom alone. You know, these offlane heroes are just being a bit too greedy, it seems like. Kind of interesting from Lilgun.
Dire's bottom tower is
Off an arrow combo. Get Norman here. But yeah, heroes like Zeus, it's kind of interesting. He's being forced to play this offlane because they need the Sanking kind of to follow around the Brood a bit. So Sanking wants to be in the mid lane where the Brood was, and also just it's easier to get to the side lanes from mid without having to use your TP. So they're going to send this Brood to kind of defend this mid tier 1 tower since Zeus is too vulnerable there.
It's also just 11 was maybe able to farm the triangle because he's already got a goddamn blink. So this is just an exceptional blink timing from 11. Really what they needed to be that playmaker. Now you can chuck the Ink Spell on him, which is already level 3 as well from Ace 12, and that plus the Thunder Gods, that's a kill on anyone. Confirmation of 11 having a blink, which they probably wouldn't have expected it maybe for another minute or 2. So now Army Geniuses can play accordingly.
Brood instantly goes to jungle defensively because Brood herself is getting scattered out. These Lycan Wolves, yeah, they're tracking this Brood in the jungle. So both teams are doing a really good job. Lilgun was smoked up though. They want to try and get a blink jump here. It does feel like Army Genius are ready for this. They preemptively Moonlight Shadow. It almost feels like a defensive Moonlight just to dodge this smoke gank because there was a scan on top of the smoked up heroes.
They're dumb. Just gonna wait this one out. Of course, have a really good ward as well that's still up, and the Spiderling, so shortly they're going to get some double confirmation of Lilgun, and they're just wasting time. Kishka and 11 inside the river. Haven't been able to run into end. Top lane, you've got Varese, who's getting a little bit of farm. Meanwhile, DB, he's been untouched as well. This is going to be a crazy Battle Fury timing for the Troll.
I think you may like.
Zeus not going from the Axe Scepter, but I feel like that's just been the go-to build for every like core Zeus I've seen, but going a different direction with this Sanjin Kaya looks like.
So much more.
I feel like this game is slowing down into a bit more of a farm battle, at least for now. I mean, so much of this is because we talk so much about the BKBs and how important they are, and I think for Lilgun, they do want to start upping the tempo. Like, you've got Sanking, you've got this Lycan with Helm, plus 12 combo that they're, you know, so well known for. They don't want to just get into a farm battle against this Army Genius side who almost have Battle Fury on Troll.
I think maybe that's the... We'll hold that thought. 4-2-3. Nicely done. Should be able to get the TP out of 0 and close the distance. I think that's a concern, though, from Lilgun, is that their ways to take objectives, or at least force objectives, is a little bit more lackluster than Army Geniuses. You can rotate the Lycan, but this game, 4-2-3's put a lot more emphasis on just farming the safe lane. And without having a hero to kind of force Army Genius to defend top, then we've seen Lilgun, they've just had to be relying on these smoke games, and that initial one didn't work out. So they're not being able to get these pickoffs, because I'm 100% in agreement. You got this early blink, you have a lot of kill potential, you need to use it, but the fact that you're not like pressuring Army Geniuses to bring numbers to defend top, so Lilgun aren't getting that fight.
Honestly, a huge part of not finding any action has been Womi's Brood. Like, I'm actually so impressed watching his micro of these Spiderlings. They're constantly scouting out heroes. It's also like, you send out these Spiderlings 5 directions and don't see anyone, like, you can maybe figure out, like, oh, they probably smoke. There is some trouble.
This is
tiny.
It is very aggressive positioning. I guess it pulls them away from mid, so it's going to be forced. Oh, 11? Where's the follow-up, though?
Yeah. It's out of there. It was as soon as Brood sold them away from mid tier 1, he's like, oh sweet, I can get in, put my Spylings in this tower, and they just instantly glyph and TP.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Like you say, they need that follow-up. Sand King doesn't have a hero that easily keeps up with them. Like two, you know, range supports that want to sit back. The Zeus wants to sit back. Lycan can, but he's not, you know, he's not like a blink hero. He's got mobility through his movement speed, but if he's on one part of the map, he can't just instantly show up somewhere else.
Army Geniuses, they now have their own way to be able to start fights. Azura with this Blink Dagger on the Dragonite. Gonna try and catch out some stragglers. They do have the ward on the higher ground, so they're gonna see Kishka's position. Ron is gonna be nearby as well to land the follow-up. Arrow might be a little bit too late. Kishka's able to sidestep this, but still, with 3 heroes surrounding the Snapfire, it's gonna be an easy kill.
It's similar story to Tiny getting called out. Not these like huge impact kills that instantly lead to, you know, key objective, although it does, you know, happen around this mid lane. I don't imagine Lilgun give this up without a fight. They've got Sand King here, he's got Blink, he's got Epicenter. Probably wants to defend this, but even someone like DK can just keep poking at it with that dragon form. Unless they're willing to jump on in. They need Snapfire alive because that level 6 Mortimer's Kisses is the kind of the kill threat that you need to deter DK from just pushing your towers.
Pan on over to DB again, though. Battle Fury, I believe, was completed like 13-30 minutes in. Let's see if Sand King could be in a bit of trouble here. DB's gonna pop the ultimate, but oh no, doesn't get the right pathing. A little bit awkward there, so Snake did it very nicely done. Scan, but yeah, they'll be too late with the TP out. So that's 1 minute DB down bottom. Let's see what Lilgun wanted to with this. The lane boots of trouble already on the Sand King. They're in with the Waterman Kisses as well. Beautifully done, Lilgun. That's a great read. They see 2 heroes bottom. They recognize Azura is more than likely solo, so they can jump in with no hesitation.
Under attack.
He started casting the Kisses before Sand King even landed the Blink Star.
What else they found? Alright.
Your stains.
Great quick move from Lilgun. This is what they need to be doing. As I said earlier, they don't want to just get into this farm battle. They need to be making these plays. Troll is going to out-farm them, outscale them. Particularly with the Lycan carry matchup. This is not one that Lycan wants to go late with, but he's, you know, his Helm of the Overlord's coming out. Means Faction Creep will be online. This Boots of Travel on Sand King's giving them this global catch potential as well, where Sand King can defend one lane and then TP in for a fight somewhere else on the map, which is really important to have against a hero like Brood.
And they also get a tower off the back of that as well. The T1 mid's going to be claimed now, so can... I don't know if they can Roche with Helm of the Overlord. They'll need a pick off definitely as Azura.
Perfect
I'm going to run into the Grimstroke. I don't care together. They should be able to get a kill. But again, it's really just supports that are bleeding their lives. There's no valuable kill that we've seen so far.
This mid-tier on tower is what Jesus really want. Curious to see if they go for it now. The Kisses being on cooldown, plus the Lycan shape, I think means it's safe to go for this.
Alright, that's a very deep path around the tower. It's going to come at a cost, but hang on. Meanwhile, the backline, Wommy, he's onto safety. The Orchid being able to bring him down. They'll turn to Kishka afterwards. Beautifully done, Army Genius. They get to end. They get the T1 tower.
Womi just found the perfect angle of attack, because this Zeus kind of exposed himself by going... I mean, Tiny was so dead. Zeus was about to blow him up. He had ultimate and everything. But then Brood used the fact that Zeus had, like, kind of pushed too far forward to come on in over the trees. And the key thing is there, getting the Orchid off before he jumps away. Because the second Zeus sees Brood, he's throwing that heavenly jump. He does not want Brood to ever get on top of him. But this Orchid just gives you a way to actually kill Zeus now.
Oh, this is big. They see DB with that ward. They're going to know around about his farming pattern. Lenovo's going to be able to catch him out. They'll need the epicenter for the kill. And with the silence, they're going to prevent the battle trend to even get some help out of the Centaur Conqueror. The chain control is perfect as Lilgun. That's a huge kill. That's the valuable kill we've been looking for. Yeah. They get rid of DB, who's been free farming this game.
That's the Roshan killed now. All their ultimates coming back up means even if there's a contest, they may be ready to fight this one, but it does look like a contest is on the way. Very bold decision. Army Genius is Varus. He's so close to his blink. He's going to be the one who maybe has to sacrifice his life to go in.
Stunch up the combo. Ace 12 should take out the fight, but the backline, Wommy once again targeting down the Snapfire. But they control him the once and they secure the kill. Sanctity been able to pump in the damage from the Zeus, taking the Broodmother now out of the equation. But Lilgun, how long do you want to stick around? Shapeshift, a quarter duration left, and DB almost alive.
I think it's weird because Lilgun is stronger, but they just kill Roche too slow. Like, I think Lilgun are happy to stick around and take another fight, maybe, particularly while Troll is dead. But at some point, they're just like, we can't finish this Roche off. Lycan's the only one in the cage. Ulti's wearing off. Like, Sanking and nope, they found Varus.
Looking to de-ward the cliff. One more right click. Oh, he's not going yet. Azura is in. He's break. Oh, no. Oh, well, it's pre-20
minutes.
Let's go.
Oh, that's honestly, that's such like a big swing there. Like, usually these support kills or whatever, but that was like 100 gold from Blink, and he lives and then gets the assist.
Around. Where he should be killed off.
Blink.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, mission done.
Fine. That's what matters most. He's like, don't worry, I got my Blink. Now we know for sure there's a ward up there. Like, we won't make that mistake again. And, you know, they're not in Roshan. So, at least not for now.
Not for now, but DB has this Sanjin Yasha, and more than likely is going to go BKB next item. You've got Azure with the Fireball completed, so probably BKB next to him as well, and that was what we were looking for. We felt like BKBs were going to be the biggest timing for Army Geniuses, but they're not going to have it for this Roche.
They know Dire don't have BKB, and that's when they get super scary. So they really want to try and take Roshan and force the objective while BKBs are down.
Combo out, Azura's got the fall up as well. They need to burst down the Lycan, they should be able to, but it's too just gets melted. He's going to enter the backline. Meanwhile, the Aegis has been snagged from 11, so at least they have the second life to work with, but they need to be cautious about their positioning. Without anyone to protect the cause, the squishy supports are going to be vulnerable as Varese finds a beautiful angle under the secret shop. And now they're going to turn to Sanctity next as well. He's stuck in the tree line. Tiny trying to close the distance. The pogo stick over. Sanctity looks like he will be fine. There's no way he goes for it on Verition. No, that's not the case. Oh, nice reactions.
Okay. I mean, great Roach contest. Unfortunately, Lilgun walk away with the Aegis, but they get the Lycan kill. Even with the shapeshift coming off, there was just enough follow-up damage. Honestly, I feel like the star of that fight for me was Narman. Hustle on the Mirana. Like, he leapt in, put his body on the line to make sure they secured the kill. He had a Wraith Pact, which blocked so much damage in the fight as well. And then when he got leashed to the Troll, he followed Troll into battle. He's like, okay, we're leashed together and you want to go kill them? I'll just keep walking in with you. So Narman was willing to be like this frontline Mirana, and with the items he's got, he's pretty damn tanky. Not a hero you normally associate with being on the front lines, but he made it work.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Look at this maneuver. Army Geniuses. They're going to run into Sanctity. Oh, he jumps, but still the arrow pathing's on the mark, but a 4-stop away. Can they protect Sanctity? Into the tree line it goes. Another cookie down to the left. They should get the kill. One arrow and they finally get him. But at what cost? It might be too grave as Army Geniuses 2 are down. Soon to be a third as well. As Lilgun, they don't keep Sanctity alive, but at least they make the trade worth it.
Yeah. Dude, 10-second cooldown Heavenly Jump, you know, he was making him work hard for it. He does end up going down there, but boy, I feel like you can see how scary this Zeus is going to be, though. Like, especially right now. I mean, I guess BKBs will negate some of his power spike, but like once he gets some ability item, a Blink or a 4-staff, or even just his Aether Lens that lets him position further back, he's such a difficult hero to deal with. And you know, it's every single fight Army Geniuses need to find a way to get on top of this Zeus. Otherwise, he's just going to eat him alive. Oh, Lilgun, you know, they're dead set on defending him, protecting him where possible. 11 Sanking particularly has been really on point this game since getting this Blink.
He's going to be a menace now. I mean, I feel like the big issue on the Sand King is kind of the early game. If you do have a good time, you can go this Ag Shard, and then that's going to really help out with your farm and kind of your scaling overall. And he's already got this Aghanim shot, which is really important. You mentioned the mobility from Sanctity. He went Blink Dagger as well, so all eyes on how they can position. It's going to get a lot easier shortly for them. But again, we are looking for the BKBs. We've got one more component from the Troll. Azura needs 2, and, well, Wami's got his.
That's where this game starts to get pretty tricky for Lilgun. They're going to have to completely change how they approach team fights. And, you know, they need to bait up BKBs. You're going to hear like Sanking can always blink in, stun, or you burst someone before they can BKB. Considering that there isn't much save on the Army Genius side, you know, you've got ways to play against them, but you have to change and factor that in anytime you initiate. Like, you can't just go in and expect to burst someone down with magic damage if they're not chain stunned. Similarly, you know, if a troll runs at you with BKB on, you have to find a way to disengage.
I fear nothing.
11? No, I don't think they're going to go. At least they scout out the Sand King TPing back. They do have a really nice ward in the backline as well. So Army Geniuses... Looks like both sides just a little bit of chip damage. It will be Callisto. So actually, top tower go down.
They want the ancient creep. 250 gold. Defend the top tower too. It's deniable, but not sure they want to deny that since it could give up outpost control. Always use it to maybe bait another fight here, so I like the plays from both teams. Is Sand King utilizing the fact he's an Aegis where he's like, okay, I can just TP bomb to defend. If they go on me, my teammates will then show up. And the response from that from Army Genius is like, okay, they TP Sand King bottom. That means we get to defend top and not give up this tower.
Here we go.
Here come Lilgun. No, they can get that blink jump. Yes, Brood has a BKB. She's on the
Great
cliff,
positioning.
which means this smoke... Yeah, you can pop the smoke and see them.
Zero.
Get ready for this.
They're going to get the proc, so he's unable to blink away. They're trying to leash Wommy together as well. They won't have that to lock him into place. No one else nearby, but hang on. They're still chasing him down. Wommy, though, he's going to need some help. Sidesteps the stun, but Wommy, he can beat the last second. Now with the lifesteal coming back, can Wommy survive through the damage at the moment? It's looking like that's going to be the case. They deal with the Aegis, but can they get set up for round two? Charging to the backline's going to be DP. Grimstroke's going to be killed off. Now they can turn to Kish Connects, but the BKB, it's been expended and they can go back in now if they get the combo for Breeze. He's going to make sure that's not a possibility. In first before the Sand King. It's still going to come at a cost though. You keep the troll alive, but again, it's Army Geniuses. That was a bit of a BKB timing. They had two available and they weren't able to take the fight with it.
I mean, the big thing is that Sand King shard. Yeah, like you mentioned in the fight, it stopped the blink out. I think DK is like, okay, I'm going to position here on the high ground. My Brood's on the cliff. Like, I can pop a smoke and then blink away, but as soon as that shard pulse hits you, your blink's being cancelled, and that's the one hero who doesn't have BKB popping the smoke, so they kind of try and force the fights anyways, but, you know, troll BKB and just troll as a hero. This hero's success in a team fight just comes down to whether or not he gets tied up in. The way Lilgun played around, like, you know, their force staff, their mobility, the Sand King being annoying. They've got double force staff and heavenly jump. Like, this troll gets kited very easily when heroes like DK are dead because they rely on stuff like Dragon Tail to lock heroes down.
And Azura's not having a good game at all. I'll hold that thought because DT Tower mid... It might go down as well. Almost a... They caught out TP! TP! How are you entering the fight with that angle? Look at the ultimate off the last second. They're trying to lock down the Sand King, but still, without the BKB to be able to utilize, they find a big kill. And now Lilgun, they're just going to cut this out. And Wommy recognizes he cannot continue the chase, and Sanctity is going to jump back in. Let's get the combo out. Army Geniuses back to the safety of their high ground.
Pushed away, Lilgun finding ways to make this. Is that the lack of save? I mean, you can't always drop it.
They're gonna bleed another kill.
Brood found the backlines though.
Oh boy, okay, maybe the Grimstroke doesn't get down. Azura's gonna jump in the middle of this well, but the buyback on 11. They feel the importance of the team fight, and it's gonna pay off. They get the Grimstroke. Now they're gonna turn to Nama next to Cookie Stone. Just too late, but hang on. They got a bigger fish to fry. Azura, they found out the Dragonite BKB protecting him for the moment.
Doesn't feel good though.
He's gonna make it away, but hang on. The buildings, they're just melting. They'll turn to the objectives instead.
Yep. Mirana getting away with the gem at least, you know, it felt like a small, like, yes, small victory, but then suddenly you realize, wait a second, how Brood just died because there's a great buyback from Sand King 11. Honestly, it's been a stand-up play this game. And suddenly your base is full. This is the issue. Losing the fight on your side of the map against a hero like Lycan is, if you don't have buybacks, suddenly that's a guaranteed lane of racks down. Roshan could respawn in the next couple of minutes too. At least Army Geniuses will be alive for that one. But it's so important, I think, that they don't give Lilgun a free Aegis now, because that just really set up Lilgun to take game one.
It feels like just Army Geniuses, if you don't win the fight off the back of the BKB, that's it. Like, fight's over. Is there any other thing that you're kind of seeing from them?
I think it's definitely that, but I think a big part of it is who gets the jump, because both teams have this, like, chain stun, like DK, Mirana, Tiny on one side, Sand Cookie, Green. So like both teams have chain stun, and neither team have a way to essentially break up the chain stun. Like, you know, the Abaddon shields, the Legion commanders, the Lotus Orb type things. Like, there's no save on either team. So whoever gets the jump generally has an advantage. The one thing where I feel like we're seeing Lilgun come out on top is they have more save because they've got double force staff. Like, Brood committed onto, I think it was one of the supports. It was either Grimstroke or Snapfire in that fight, and he does end up getting the kill, but they double forced away, and Brood, as a result, was really deep. Like, the reason Brood dies there is because he has to overcommit because of double force staff. And then at that point, like, you know, Sand King's willing to buy back to turn the fight, knowing that Brood's overcommitted, used her entire BKB just to kill a support. So force staffs to me right now are winning these team fights for Lilgun.
And that's a really beautiful read from Lilgun, recognizing that you just need to drag the fight out. If you can kite them, get that BKB, you're onto cooldown, and that's where the defensive items come into play. So the supports, you've mentioned a lot, 11 this game and how he's been playing, but also just the itemization from Ace 12 and Kishka's really put them in this prime position. No, I'm just going to deny the DD, so we won't have a fight around the river.
And this is where the standoff will commence. Roche will be up very soon. Both teams, you know, have summons and stuff. They can scout that out. It's like one of these games where neither team's ever going to get a big vision advantage. Gems, summons, there's so many ways to scout, so you've got to use these smokes effectively. And Gunner at it again, see if they can find a way in. Wolves will scout the high ground first, giving them vision.
Let's go. Well, 11 with the jump. They're going to target the Broodmother for the moment. Woman's in trouble again. A BKB, but the damage has been dealt. Is trying to lifesteal off the Ancient Creep, but 423 should be able to get the kill. Can they turn it around though? DP, he's locked up to the Zeus. DP, beautifully done, but 11 in. What a combo. 11 finds the target. The magic damage is there, and DV's gone just like that.
It's just so much firepower. Every single hero on Lilgun is packing a punch. Like, I look at the Zeus like, oh crap, this fight could go south. Like, that's their mid laner. He's their damage. They're like, wait a second. They have a Soulbind, Borrow Strike, Epicenter combo coming on in.
See what they can do with the combo again. Either get the Snapfire. Nama's got a leap to be able to play with. And without the blink from 11 to catch them. Nice. The hold. All right.
Okay. Costing one buyback, but you're more than happy with at least the outcome of that push. The fight before, I don't think you're too happy with if your army geniuses. They're thinking like, you know, how can we prevent this? The issues, I mean, again, like so much of these fights, kind of what I pointed out before, is like who gets the jump. Like, there's no save. If somebody gets blink stunned, I don't know how they didn't quite chain stun the Brood there. I think the Sand King Borrow Strike they didn't get the combo with the E-Smoke quite right. They still kill the Brood just because of how much right-click damage Lycan brought. So they need to find a way in Army G to use their smokes better and play around their vision better and not get initiated on every single time. They need to be the ones. Like, we've yet to see Azura start a fight with his Blink Dragon. It feels like he's always playing on the defensive, using his BKB reactionary. Like, I want to see a fight where DK or Tiny starts things off.
I think this is a big reason of the vision advantage that Lilgun are playing with. You mentioned earlier that Tommy was doing a really good job with the Spiderlings to scout up those early rotations when Lilgun were trying to get pickups with his blink timing. But it's really just been the Wolf's micro from 423 and Sanctity as well. Yeah. I mean, that is the power of the Zeus. It just makes it so difficult for you to play with wards.
Yeah, it's something both teams have, and you know, you're sending those summons into vision, but if you're Army Geniuses, you're like, oh, these summons are coming at us, we can kill them, but the problem is you've now been you have a way to scout out the enemy with no risk, because if you have to scout with your hero, you get initiate on, but when you can scout with these summons, you find the enemy, your Sand King can blink from fog or from smoke because he's out of range, and how do you react to that if you're Army Geniuses? I just don't think you can. Which is where they need to be the ones, at least in that situation, being more proactive starting fights. Of course, right now, they're playing into an Aegis. I think you just defend your high ground, but once this Aegis wears off, if they get to a point where they hold their high ground...
They might just jump Azura off. Again, the Dragon Knight! Oh, the first to die to start. Look at the damage!
Yep. Got that Zeus Axe online now.
He might have been giving the shard as well. I'm not quite sure where that shard went. All 5 of Lilgun have it, but they do also have the Aegis on Sanctity.
So there's a lot of extra damage coming out. Lilgun don't want to overcommit too much onto the high ground here. Probably, you know, they know there's tiny tossbacks, there's DK buybacks. I think the reason DK frontline's there, he even had, you know, he could have popped his BKB and died, but he held on to it. He's like, okay, I'm going to play for my buyback. And Lilgun aren't going high ground because they're respecting the fact that they have a pretty good idea. DK, sorry, has buyback.
I don't know how you hold this though on... Oh, they're going to jump three. Stop them on. Nice. The walls at 11. Again. A double forest strike. So Tiny's just gone. That's a dieback dead for 70.
Should be Rax now, I think. I guess he saw an opening there because he just blinked in, looked like he was going for a toss. I think your DK was so close to respawn. The only way that works is if you get the toss back, and DK probably has to buy back for the fight. I think you're just better off staying high ground. Yeah, sure, Lilgun are probably going to back off by the time he respawns, but instead they mess up the initiation. They're down another lane of racks. It's not over. Like, Troll is theoretically the strongest late game carry. There's a lot of things to kite him, a lot of annoying things he's playing into, but Lycan is not going to like outscale Troll Warlord on his own. He's very reliant on his teammates to deal with this Troll.
Oh, but he does have a DD now just to munch on the supports and a halberd to kite the Troll. So good luck surviving this last fight. And they're a little bit too late to get set up in a position to take a fight by this tier 2. I mean, dude, 11! How many times are you going to find multi-man bar strikes like that? Get the initiation with the leash fall up as well, with the Mortimer Kisses almost bring down Narman. Down to the south though. Tabs onto Wami. Safety is able to secure the kill. Now with the BKB expiring from DB. That's it. They weren't able to take the fights off the back of the initial BKBs and Lilgun. Man, what a game one from them. They give him the combo, they get the Lycan, they get the Grim Choke, and they will make him pay.
Yep, and honestly, just a super solid game. Like, I don't feel like this was an outdraft or anything. Like, yeah, the Lycan Grim combo is like one of their
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
And anything can happen. So, because
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team back. Radiant team back.
Just because you can, use that 8 pick to pick something and then ban the counter. So we'll see how Lilgun kind of approaches this, or who knows? It does seem like Army Geniuses at least felt confident in game 1.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds
I
remaining.
imagine Lilgun will let the Mars through just because they do have first pick now.
Dire team
And Army
back.
Geniuses with this tiny ban, it's something that Kishka and Sanctity can play at a very high level. Honestly, I think Sanctity has one of the best mid tinies.
Hero being Army Geniuses most picked hero over the last month. I think it may have also been Lilgun's.
10 seconds
When I was
remaining.
looking at their recent games and drafts as well. At least it was up there. So both
5
teams
seconds
love
remaining.
the
Seconds remaining.
Do they get rid of it? I guess at least the nice thing as well is, though, if you do leave like a Lycan / Brood in, Lilgun can't go for the back-to-back pick Lycan plus Grim, which we see so often. So maybe that gives them some confidence to leave it in the pool.
Yeah, it's kind of like pick your poison a bit. Like, and I think Lilgun have shown they can play standard drafts. Like they haven't been relying on Brood and Lycan over the past month. So don't want to lose to it 2 games in a row, but at the same time, like I don't think it's like okay, we banned Lycan, let's feel really good about our draft.
Radiant team back.
It was coming.
Boy.
It's coming.
Dire team back.
It does mean I think the one thing maybe our Magicians felt like, okay, if they're gonna take Mars, like sure they can Brood, but it removes some of the flexibility, like, or it forces you to be flexible. Like these heroes, I think both shine in the, like their preferred role to me is both in the offlane. So one of them is gonna have to go elsewhere. We've seen Brood mid obviously last game. Kishka I think has played the Mars support. That was something you mentioned. So it does force at least some flexibility for these heroes.
Radiant team.
Do you like the Monkey King response? I know the matchup's very good versus a lot of melee heroes, but I feel like Mars is one of the better heroes to actually play into the Monkey.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I think maybe the strength is that it could just be a support Monkey. Like, I think Monkey's a pretty strong hero right now. I wonder if they're just going to force this as a carry, like into the
seconds remaining.
Maybe the pace these teams are playing at, like that's just something
5
you
seconds
should be doing because Lilgun is not going to give you breathing room to farm it up, which is maybe partly where things went wrong in game 1 with the farming Battle Fury Troll. It took too long to come online. By the time he did, there was too much to counter him with, kiting, the 4 staffs and whatnot. So maybe they just like the fast pacedness.
I think this hero is very undervalued as a support still. We saw it for quite some time, like major and a little bit before the major as well, like at the Dubai tournament. Wait,
5 seconds.
Gamers Galaxy tournament. And I think it was a really strong hero, just wasn't getting played as much afterwards. So I think just with how much information it can really provide you, and that was a big thing on why Lilgun kind of had an advantage in that game 1. I mean, the Zeus and the Lycan to be scouting out. So I think that is one big advantage to the Monkey as a support.
Where Army Geniuses go, I think the big thing is that they probably want to change and at least try and force. It's just having their players on their comfort roles. Like I don't think they want to be having Azura in the offlane again. Obviously, that was just their draft ended. They had this Brood. They want to send Brood mid, and they're not going to put Azura on Brood. So I don't think they're going to end up in that situation since they don't have a hero like a Brood. But it really, you want to go down with Azura being set up for success. Like I think he's one of those mid laners. Like they want to give him a good game, especially after game 1.
They're very flashy mid player as well. Loves his spirits. And Storm's not really something that you're considering, but the Ember, the Void could be something you want to go down, especially having hero that can jump the Brood and find him in that tree line, because it can always be difficult to get on top of him that initial time with how mobile he is.
Curious to see. You do need to pick something that doesn't get stomped by Brood, I guess. Is maybe a consideration since Brood could definitely go to the mid lane. But at the same time, I think they are looking for at least some kind of a playmaker. Maybe you can get an Ember and then find a way to deal with the Brood later on. Like ideal scenarios, you have like a offlaner, like a Sanking type. You need somebody that can come to the Brood's lane later on. For the lane itself, if Brood goes mid, you don't have to have like a Brood counter, but where they end up with their draft. For now, though, just support pick. This reveals Monkey is going to be a core. I guess there's flexibility with Monkey not being safe lane if they want to do like 3-position Monkey, but I think that's a pretty. You're really like thinking outside of the box there. So I think it's safe to assume that this Monkey is going to be the safe lane carry against either Mars or Brood. I guess you don't know for sure Mars is off lane, but it does feel like there's going to be some kind of melee off laner for Monkey to play.
Let's give you some team fight. I've always been a big fan of the Bane Snapfire combo. Like Kisses and Fiend's Grip can pretty much kill anyone, a lot of people in the game. That single target from the Bane, nice with the kind of the AoE damage. My concern though is that like Army Genius just don't really have a hero to, especially support, to play that Brood lane towards the later stages. Now it puts a lot more emphasis on maybe Wami's hero to fulfill that role, and then it can be pretty obvious. Like if Wami's also the initiator, then it kind of puts your team and how you can make plays, and it kind of pigeonholes you a little bit.
I think they definitely need some kind of like the Grip Kisses is good for getting kills, but they need someone who's just going to jump in and get kills and set up the Kisses, because Bane can't start the fight. They need like a Sand King, maybe a DK, could be offlane, could be mid, but they need somebody just to blink in stun, set for the Snapfire Kisses, and cause problems. Problem is now Razor carry makes a lot of those initiating offlaners. You don't feel good about playing many of them. The one that maybe feels okay is Mars, and that's been picked up by Lilgun as well. So initiating offlaners are in short supply.
There's not a lot of control though on Lilgun. I don't know how highly they rate the Queen of Pain. It has always been a good answer, and maybe just in case if Sanctity is Razor never goes mid anymore, but we always see it's still kind of emphasis on banning that one out. But they do go for at least for an offlaner that has some way to kind of get out of the static link. But if that's a Razor Marcy lane, I can't imagine Pango is going to have a good time.
Yeah, it's still a losing lane for Pango. You shouldn't die. You should be able to break the link and get some farm using, your shield crash to secure some creeps. But it's definitely a lane I would not expect. Assuming he is playing the Pango, it could be a mid hero. But I do like the pick a lot. Like I think as far as what was in the pool, you needed, some kind of blink stun initiator. Pango can fit that with the, blink rolling thunder later on. The shard is pretty nice too to protect yourself. It also gives you a hero with good AoE damage to address the Brood. So it's a similar idea, I think, to the Sand King, just with a better lane against Razor. To me, this is like they're picking this for the same reason. Where it's weaker than Sand King is the stun. Like your stun is your ultimate. It's got a long cooldown. It's more impactful when you use it, but Sand King has he always has Blink Bar Strike available.
10.
I do still feel like Army Geniuses maybe lack some initiation or some kind of, team fight starter that they may just not be able to fit into their draft because of what they need for the mid lane.
Interesting bends coming out though for Army Geniuses, Night Stalker and the Bloodseeker, so trying to protect the Pangoli a little bit with that Bloodseeker. They're not sure where the Mars is going as well.
There's definitely some question marks about what's going on with at least Lilgun's role allocation. I doubt we see any kind of 5-position Razor. We saw that up in Division 1. It didn't end so well.
Dire team
but here we go. We'll get some answers. And they get the ones who
doesn't answer much. I don't know what's going on.
I think they were right that Mars is a support. I think we're going to be seeing a Mars Razor lane. That seems like a pretty strong lane to me. Mars 5, you want to have a range carry with. This, it's kind of like to me, it's like similar to a 5 Titan where you've got this repositioning tool. You got to be careful about laning against it just because of that spear into a tower or, a tossback. So, and then I guess you're looking at Marcy Brood lane. I mean, for Marcy seems to be the role where she's most impactful. Still some questions though. It looks like quad mid, but who knows?
We have the traditional.
You may now select your heroes.
Uh-oh.
Is this Sanctity playing mid morph or? Are they
This should
gonna-
be... Oh, it's
Oh,
DB
sorry.
playing
not
it.
Sanctity. Lilgun is what I mean. Lilgun didn't pick that. DB. Okay. So they're doing monkey mid. Okay. Interesting. 11 playing the Queen of Pain.
Okay, if DB has a very good Morphling, and if they don't get run over, I think Army Genius win this game. He's going to win them this game. This is one of the freest Morphling games that I've seen. He has a ridiculous morph, so I'm hesitant on the lane setup because you're gonna put 4-2-3 in the side lane, so then it's gonna be like Quap versus Monkey mid, which Azura is gonna
10
get bodied. You were
seconds
just mentioning
remaining.
before that you kind of want to give Azura a good game considering he didn't play well
5
on the
seconds
Dragonite.
remaining.
I don't think he's gonna have a good lane at all, which is a bit of a concern.
Yeah. Well, I'm also still like, are we going to see that? Because it's 11 playing the Quap. He's usually offlane. So, honestly, we could be in for some more lanes. Like, yeah, 11's the offlaner, but last game we saw, what was it? We saw Womi go mid on the Brood. So we could very easily see these teams, like they could be doing Brood offlane, but 4-2-3, 11 can play it, but I think 4-2-3 is the better Brood player personally. So maybe they just feel like this is how they want to lane. I don't know. I feel like we're in for some mind games with these.
Dude, that's a vile Brood set as well. I know everyone else can't see it. I'll show it when we get in. I've not seen that, and that is filthy.
Yeah.
Oh my.
The extra hairy
Skulls on it too.
I love
Like,
I
what?
love how clean the Black Widow set look. That's still my favorite, even though I know some people hate it. This one is definitely just.
I can imagine you being a filthy Brood player. I don't know if that's
Look,
an insult or not.
A little. I wouldn't say filthy Brood play. No, I played some Brood. Dude, this guy level 30, 600. Was that his? I don't know if that was his Brood record. I think that was just his overall win-loss record. But yeah, filthy Brood player.
Dude, like what? They have 2 of them. Oh my god. Oh no. All right, let's look at this set real quick.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, I like it. Very cool. Like you said, Harry. But regardless, man, what an exciting game. It's going to be Lilgun that get to prove Army Geniuses wrong with this Brood pick. They were the ones that were playing it in game 1, Army Geniuses, and now Lilgun get to be like, there's a big reason why teams ban out this hero, the 4-2-3 Brood. He's currently going over in the offlane. So, we're in store for some interesting stuff.
Who's going? Like, is Razor going mid? Is Quap going mid? I mean, Quap doesn't really have mid lane items, but maybe 11 is going mid. He's not a mid laner. He doesn't know what the mid lane items are. He's like, okay, I'll play mid Quap. Do I buy some nulls? That's what mid laners do? Who needs bottle? I mean, it is mid lane items, but usually as a mid laner, you're looking to rush bottle more.
30 seconds to battle.
I'm very curious to see how things go here. DB maybe going mid on the morph lane. So we could see 2 non-mid laners go mid against each other. Anything between us.
I think looking pretty guaranteed for Sanctity to be down bottom with the wand. So
yeah.
If anything is confirmed, I'll say that one.
I think Brood's going mid. Brood's got the bottle queued up, and it looks like maybe initially they weren't going to do this because it looks like they just swapped. So maybe they scattered something that the enemy were doing, saw some items, and they're like, okay, these are the matchups. But I do feel like this is kind of the lanes Army Genius want. They don't want Monkey playing into Quap. They want Monkey against the melee hero. And they want Monkey versus Brood, and then they want Quap to play into the Morphling, I would say. Especially in the safe lane where you can just use that Bane to deal with the Quap harass.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think Army Geniuses have to be really happy with the setup they have. We kind of were mentioning in the game 1 draft, like the way you can look to deal with the Brood Mother. In regards to maybe the first 5 levels, you just look to body him, or you go for a hero that's able to play his lane once you get the ultimate. And more, I think the Monkey King can kind of do both. Definitely the first 5 levels Monkey can body, but you can also get to a stage where you can kind of deal with the Broodlings depending on your itemization.
See where it goes. I don't know if there's room for like any kind of Battle Fury build. I think that's just too greedy with the Morphling, but particularly I think with strong support. You've got Sapphire Bane with a lot of kill threat, and Monkey King, like Boundless Strike is a decent setup where I think Brood is going to play pretty cautiously. But also Brood's going to be playing from behind. This lane is rough for Brood. Like, until like level 4 or 5, and definitely like level 6 it gets better. But these early levels, Monkey King has a big advantage.
I do feel like though for Lilgun, this bottom lane should be a lane where they have a really good time. Raze is a lane dominator paired with Marcy. It's going to be very difficult. Wonmi has to make sure that his swashbuckle is always more often used defensively, just to kind of get out of the static link. But I think this lane honestly just comes down to the creep equilibrium. Like if Army Geniuses are playing with the wave closer to the tower, then Wonmi might have a better time. And he's only got the level 1 just yet. Hang on, that's a big solo kill. Oh,
I didn't see that at all, because bottom lane, yeah, there's this a lot of fighting going on down bottom. Like that mid kill came out of nowhere. What happened? I mean, every time I saw him like really pressuring Brute, even under the Brute's tower, he was getting the Jingu stacks up, holding onto his Boundless Strike. He's got 202 build, so yeah, this Brute is getting destroyed, man.
How's their offlane looking for 11 at the moment? Decent amount of losses. I think concern is that Black Morphling, he's going through. He should have a pretty good lane. The big issue with this here is like the first couple of levels, but I want maybe like a spear at nighttime to catch him out, and 11 if it goes more points in Scream. I don't see otherwise how they can kill him.
Yeah, and I feel like the Mars, like, yeah, Kishi's played, but playing the offlane, I just feel like this hero doesn't do as much, even though Quap is a good lane partner. Bane's just doing a really good job of just fighting 1 versus 2 while Morphling farms. Like, I think Morphling is gonna leave this lane happier than the Queen of Pain in many ways. But I've seen this, the main other players I've seen this offlane Queen of Pain has actually been SMG as well. Like, Raging Potatoes played it. It's a good hero to get Vessel on, so if they want to get the Vessel against Morphling, it's a decent place to find it.
It's a hero that when the Queen of Pain was a little bit more popular, we were seeing it like first phase. Not too long ago, honestly, like 5 months ago, maybe. A lot of people were trying to flex it into the position. Mid to do it. Petashar as well over in Eastern Europe. We got a lot of action. Breeze top's going to go down. Bottom lane as well. Ace 12 is fallen pretty low. He's going to be okay for the moment. And everyone, you take a look at the side lane. Everyone's really low health.
I've been dreaming of this moment.
I think full Agi's gonna be careful. A spear from the trees could always find him, but this Brute seems to be the big loser.
What's going in?
Stage.
TB. Okay, Fairy Fire and Kishka will be enough, and we would have got the kill.
Full Agi to use his 1 later. He's got
Bottom lane
7
1
charges.
Jesus, Mango just getting out of range of Sanctity.
Now Morphling gets to go full Agi, drop all his items just to pop his wand, gets a nice good heal out of that. Bane's there with some tangos, so yeah, he's pretty happy in this safe lane. It's the strength of Morphling. Does really well against some of these harass lanes as long as he's getting farm.
I was intrigued on how he was going to look to itemize as well. Wraithman's going to be really nice for the lane, but I didn't know if he was going to go like first item Morbid Mask just to help out, burst that chip damage. There's bottom, Ace 12 and Sanctity. Should be able to finally get a kill down bottom. It is going to come at a cost to an Ace 12's life. They will trade it nonetheless.
We'll trade. These support kills usually only matter in the side lanes if like it's nice for support when they can die and then TP mid for a bottle refill, but neither mid laner really needs bottle refill. In fact, Brood no longer has a bottle queued up. He's been getting owned so hard. He's trying to get his soaring out. So these supports are just going to keep going back to their side lanes, I imagine. So yeah, see, Snapfire does TP mid. Just okay, it's some warding. Recognizing that this Brood is going to be hitting level 6 soon, so that those Spiderlings are going to start coming to play to take over the jungle.
The bounty? Oh no, you hate to see it. They gave 11 had a bottle, they gave it over to Kishka to try and pick up the bounty, but Kishka unfortunately unable to do so. And let's see if they can get the kill. It's going to be pretty difficult. He'll use the spear early on to hold back Varese. And it's just going to be up to the Monkey King and the Bane to get the kill in the end. He does have the Orb of Venom for the slow. Even better body blocks though coming through from the Bane. Beautifully done. And Zero, he's got 2 kills on the board.
good little punish. I mean, Mars is just there trying to stop the Bane from stacking and whatnot. It does pull the monkey away from mid, so...
Wommy, I've been trouble for the moment. Swashbuckle is still available.
Okay. This lane's starting to get really tough now.
Dire
Even just the level 1 static link. Plasma Field in itself doing a lot of damage here. Wommy has the range drop as well as some damage block and shield crash, so he actually didn't really get hurt at all, but the threat is there and he gets pushed out of the lane. They're going to get some good chip damage in this bottom tier 1 tower.
They can glyph the wave if they want to. That's what the call is going to be from Radiant. Keep the catapult, or are you happy with the damage you've done? Looks like they're happy.
I think they're pretty happy. I think if another creep wave was closer, but it would just be a glyph and then the wagon would die right after. I think it's only worth it when your next creep wave is going to arrive. Alright, it's catch-up time for Brood. She's hit level 6 and going to be, you know, jungling her way up, but curious to see how Army Geniuses respond to her now. Monkey King has done a great job winning the mid lane, but the question is going to be, how do they now address the level 7 Brood?
Look at his micro. What are you doing, Azura? He's just splitting them up, so you can't really get all of it with the Boundless. This is... Oh my lord.
He's filthy. Yeah, he splits the Spiderites with the Spider... So the Spiderlings are the tankier ones. They've got 320 health, whereas the Spiderites have 120. So he puts the squishy ones behind the Monkey King, so that, you know, they're the ones that get one-shot by a Boundless Strike, so he uses them to body block, while the Spiderlings, the tankier ones that do more damage, are hitting him. So just really good micro. I mean, it's pretty common for Brood players. You have like your micro group set up, one with your Spiderlings, one with your Spiderites, and then you often micro individual ones, but just it's really hard to play into, even when you've got a hero that theoretically counters.
I don't know, I was gonna say you only know that because you're a filthy Brood player.
Look, man, I read this online somewhere. I've never played.
11 tried to blow up DB, anticipating him to be low agi, but no, it was pretty much full strength.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, he's right. This is the Quap and the Morphling. The question, it's, you know, there's always like, it feels like this risk that Morphling players are aware of. You go full agi, one Sonic Wave will blow you up from full health, so most Morphling players are pretty aware of it.
Wommy as well is going to get the Rolling Thunder follow-up, so they're going to try and get rid of the Marcy. They will be able to... Oh, no, beautifully done. Sanctity playing nearby to get the rebound away. Wommy should be able to run into Ace 12 regardless, but he's making it work for it. I suppose will not buy enough time.
Kill in the end, but yeah, like I say, they had to work pretty hard for it. Rolling Thunder going on cooldown means this Razor has a pretty free time in lane, and also there's nothing for Brood to be too afraid of in the mid lane.
How are you gonna do this one? Trying to run into 4-2-3. Oh, what? He got down the right tree. 4-2-3. This is a huge kill. Azura, he's stuck, I think. Able to cut through for the moment.
Center, son.
Oh my god, nice micro there with the Spiderlings. Not going to get brought down for the balance, and now Ace is in. Naman's going to try and hold them back with the Mortimer Kiss, but Kish got beautiful read, instantly cancels that one, but everyone is showing up for this team fight. At Zero somehow still goes down. 4-2-3 with the spawn Spiderlings burst. That's a big kill into the Monkey King. He was having an exceptional start, and they should be able to run into Wommy as well as Ace 12 slams down with the rebound.
Is under attack.
Everyone collapsing. I was like, okay, 10-minute rune's coming up. Let's go, 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 fight. And yeah, it honestly felt like Army Jesus played it really well, but they just, everyone just kept barely dying on the outskirts of the fight. Like the Born Spiderlings chased down the Monkey King post-leap. Similar story with the Pangolier, who just barely couldn't get out of there. And that's a big thing with the Brood, just the kind of unlimited chase potential that webs give you, making it really, really tough. So, well played by Lilgun, just bringing in the numbers too. The Queen of Pain to also help finish off some of those kills.
And this starting to get a big concern with Azura and how he's going to transition into this early game. He had a pretty big net worth lead over the Broodmother, but that's soon to be caught up with, you know, that previous death, and also the fact that 4-2-3 is getting a lot of farm. And we've seen kind of Monkey King, he wasn't really playing mid for the past couple of minutes, tried to make that rotation bot, but they didn't need him for the kills. So yeah, it might be a bit of an awkward transition period here for Azura.
Bottom lane, Wommy in some trouble, but it's going to turn in with the smoke coming in. Look fight this.
They've got the Fiend's Grip as well. If they can just land onto Sanctity. He's still going to go down, though. The counter warming, but of course, it's going to be a trade that Army Geniuses are happy with, especially with DB getting the double kill.
Yeah, he shows up. He's like, okay, I didn't want to be top anyways. I can't defend my tower. So he wants the TP bomb regardless of the kills. This is probably the best lane for him to be in. So he gets to show up, get a double kill, and now pressure this tier 1 bottom tower. So really well played. Varus is going to scout out the trees below this tier 1 tower, make sure it's safe, make sure there's no trap being laid. And once they realize it's safe, Morphling can just really poke away and probably take this bottom tier 1 tower. It doesn't look like it. Okay, no, here comes the defense.
Varus just up the tree line. He's going to run back into Ace with the Unleash. I think they just have to sack the Bane. Going to make sure everyone else gets out. 4-2-3 though is run into another support. Narman's going to be able to cookie away. Meanwhile, they are hunting DB. If they can get in range for the arena, Dispose should be able to drag him back, DB. He's not going to move fast enough. Okay, now that's true. That was close. They're still hunting. They form back up, and DB should be A-okay.
Yeah, good job by Army Geniuses just to get out. They sacrificed the Bane there, but see Lilgun feeling like they're strong now with this Brood really starting to get active and involved. Not to mention Kishka having the Mars Arena in play. Oh, they caught the monkey in the tree.
Nicely done, but Narman again, the reposition for the cookie. 11's going to jump. Has the Sonic Wave if they require it. They might need it, but Wommy! What a big entrance to the fight with the Pangolin! Slams down with a shield crash, getting rid of 2 heroes instantly. And now they can turn their attention to 4-2-3. Webs on webs, DV. Trying to run into the Brood. Oh
He's
my.
Looks like he loses his webs when he morphs back to Morphling, so I have no idea how that Morphling Brood interaction works, but it looks like you get the webs and then as soon as you change back to your Morphling, you lose them, so. I mean, honestly, that counter initiation was just so good. The Rolling Thunder, the waveform on top, just even though the monkey ends up dying, just stopped them kind of comboing him down and getting at cleanly. Great job by Army Geniuses to making sure they get something in retaliation there.
It's on. Oh, there's a Keen Optic just by 11. Let's pick up your Keen Optic, sir. The goddamn web's making hard to see. What's going on in the jungle? Ocean Armin! Or support's gonna run into Lilgun.
I don't think they see the item.
Radiant's
Great
middle
on the
tower
webs.
is under
DB,
attack,
he's got
under attack.
DB.
Dire's top tower
He walks
is under
over it.
attack.
What's going on? Okay.
Oh, he's back. He's got it. I don't think that was his, right?
No, it was Radiance. Bane's gonna love that. You'll take that instead of the shuttle.
Yep. Zappy
Radiant's
camper.
bottom tower is under attack.
I've got big concerns for Army Geniuses and how their position 2 and 3 are going to be able to shape up this game. Pango, Wommy's had a lot of impact, but if he dies a couple times, then we could see that Pango won't be able to scale in regards to items. Maybe he can get some net worth out of the spawn spiderlings, but also the Monkey King, again, he's really falling behind.
I totally agree. And I think getting some of those, like you're playing against like an Orchid Brood and stuff, like you want to have a Yules or something to get rid of the Orchid. I think his lack of farm is going to matter, but it's just kind of something they have to play around. He's just trying to desperately get a blink. I don't think there was any other direction he could go with his itemization. And there's no way he could have had a better lane. He's playing into Razor Marcy. Like,
Radiant's
bottom that's just a terrible lane, but they're kind of all in on DB's Morphling carrying them now because their other 2 cores are not set up to succeed, which is weird to say because Azura, he crushed mid, and then you look where we are now, and Brood 800 net worth ahead of him. Monkey's like got double Wraith Band phase boost into BKB. Like, this is not a Monkey King you're particularly scared of scaling right now. If anything, this Monkey King feels more like a 3 position suddenly, despite having a good lane. And this is, I think, the issue with picking these heroes that crush the Brood in lane is that you need an answer for her once her spiderlings come online, and that's something that Monkey King doesn't really have.
And it's just an issue with the Monkey King position 2 in general. Like, you need to demolish the lane and be very clean in your transition, and that is not easy depending on how you skill build. Like, if you put more points in Jingu, then if you fall behind, your catch-up is really awkward without maxing out Primal Spring. You can't even go into like a Maelstrom or Battle Fury, so he's gonna be dead here. Kishka, they still catch him. Dude, the arena destroys way too many trees. The Macropie doesn't. So many other abilities don't destroy trees. And then you got the arena that just, the whole vicinity of trees are gone.
Yeah, he saw it coming and jumped away, and then he wasn't even in the arena, and he's just unlucky. Look, you know, sometimes you get OS rugs. Speaking of which, Ace 12 looking to do some disposing in the mid lane, but doesn't quite get the jump here. The mid one tower is huge. I think getting this will really help Lilgun's game. Just open up these jungles. You see, they're just throwing the Orchid on Snapfire so that she can't defend it. Like, I'm not going to let you nuke my Spiderlings. Let's still get the deny. Nicely done by Narman, but ultimately, Lilgun are just going to feel so much better about their game now that this tower's gone.
You have to blink on Wommy, though. It's not going to be an easy jump. They've got the ward.
Oh, the grip's there, though.
Okay, very beautiful way to start. Wommy's going to still drop the ult just in case anyone else is playing behind it, but not DB protected with the Lincolns. They could get a decent amount of damage. Like, Morphling does hit very hard.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Light overcommitment. You can't blame him because they don't know where these heroes are. Like, Mars has arena combo and stuff, but he was just in the jungle. Same with the Queen of Pain. So they were nowhere near this brood. So it was they could have killed just using grip and not another single other spell, but you know, they want to play it safe. Problem is, now you've used all these ultimates and Lilgun, that means they can come defend. They've got a BKB Razor who can sit here, try and defend. DP's just going to force the tower, but
they're going to blink on Mars. They have a blink on Kishka. You can't group off, and he's in. Oh, he still gets a strength wolf out. The burst coming through. Nightmare's going to buy some time with the wait for backup. DP's able to escape to the right. You just got to get out on Army Geniuses. Got to be cautious as well because Boot's tipping to the back as 4-2-3. Going to run into some stragglers, but he doesn't have some Spiderlings to play with, though. Going in the river, DB. Sankity, though. Gets the BKB to protect him. Once again, Morphling with the attribute shift. He waveformed in, though, aggressively, but DB's going to be okay. The Snapfighter will not have the same fate, though. The Rolling Thunder's up in a couple of seconds, Lilgun. Have to be hesitant about this team fight.
I feel like DB's feeling disrespected here. Is like, guys, you guys are really going to try and go on my Morphling? Like, you think you can spear me before I pop Strength Morph? Like, come on. He was on point every single time. I mean, that's really what determines the outcomes of these initiations, is just how quick the Morphling can react there. Mars, his blink probably came as a surprise. I don't think it'd been scouted, but even so, Morphling got that Morph Strength off before he got stunned up. So,
top lane,
really heads up play.
They're going to see the snap TPing, but the rest of Army Genius is showing up as well. They're going to miss the speed, dealing with the spot. Again, the ultimate usages are a little bit awkward. Wommy's going to at least run into Kishka. That's Wukong's and Rolling Thunder expended for just a position 4.
Yeah, it feels like Army Geniuses is like having to throw a lot of ultimates just to get 1 or 2 kills, and then Lilgun, what they need to be doing better is just fighting back. Like, they took that fight mid knowing that these ultis were on cooldown, and, you know, I think had the right idea putting Sanctity on the front lines with his BKB Razor, but they just can't find anyone to go on other than Morphling, who is just not a good target. If he gets more strength off, and even if he doesn't, he's got a Lincoln Sphere. He's pretty hard to burst down, so I think just really good positioning from the Army Geniuses backlines to not get jumped on.
Zero. Bit awkward there.
Dire are scanning.
I guess.
Okay.
Dire's bottom
Sorry, Chart.
Who else is nearby? It's going to be Wommy. They've got Kishka as well with the Mortimer Kisser, so yeah, this is going to be a big kill. 11 was getting a lot of farm here with the offlane Queen of Pain. It's going to be a second death, but we just see the position in the net worth, so just slowing down the scaling is going to be huge, because I think this game is going late. And we're looking at it like DB, he's going to be this ultra carry, like almost 1v5. And it really just comes down to Lilgun. Do you have enough cores to be able to scale and to deal with the Morphling?
Yeah, it's called trying to find this monkey in the trees up top, but the Co-op Shard is pretty nice. That gives you another way of, you know, maybe threatening the Morphling. Like that Blink Silence, another thing that Morphling has to react to quickly. And just, you know, Morphling doesn't want to go Lincolns and BKB. He's going for a Manta at least, so that'll give him, you know, a defensive item that also gives some good stats in fighting. So, you know, it's a game where DB is going to feel like there's a lot of things he has to be wary of, even though he's played pretty flawlessly
Great
so far.
positioning, Nam. With his invis, pops the smoke. Kishka got a sentry if he wants to drop it, but not going to be the case. So yeah, beautifully done from Nam, and scouts this out.
Solo farming this bottom lane, just on lane duty, which does a kind of exposure to getting ganked as we saw earlier, but just feel like, as you said, this game's probably going late. Both teams just trying to play a bit more economy-centric. Like, you know, they're making smoke moves, but it's never like a 5-man, let's death ball, let's go force a Roshan or force an objective. It's very much like a, you know, let's smoke and try to find a kill, but let's also farm at the same time.
It's going to be a bit of a timing key for Army Genius. At least they're getting some items. Azura with BKB. Wami's got the yours to play with, so chain control, all the defensive factor against the Orc, and he's going to jump. Beautiful ulti, gets the control onto 2, and the cookie to the middle of the fight. So the Monkey's not going to be able to play with the wood clones. His spear's going to prevent this for the moment, but Azura should be okay. They're zapping away the damage, but all the bonus armor coming out from the ring is enough to keep the Monkey alive, and now they're going to go down to the south. There's 11. Great use of the replicate from DB, steals the Queen of Pain's abilities, blinks on over the tree line, and Army Genius is flying 2 in that skirmish.
Oh,
Say a bit of the timing.
my
They're feeling pretty strong. They've got these extra defensive items now, the BKB on Monkey, the Yule Scepter on Pengo, so they can make these aggressive moves with extra security, and it feels like Lilgun themselves need those.
They're in.
Big BKB.
Just keep going. I see the Mars and it's just in my head. It's like, hang on a second, it's a call, but you'll take a kill.
I think the big one is this Brood really needs a BKB before she can feel like
Radiant's
you know,
middle
she can do
tower is
Brood
under
things in
attack,
any kind of
under
a fight.
attack.
It's a pretty good movement. They're going to wrap around. Varish doesn't get in range to lock someone in with the Nightmare, but exactly right. They've kind of blocked off this escape avenue.
Good. Back to the basics. That was definitely a dangerous moment. Razor without BKB there. They didn't really have numbers. I think, yeah, Azura was bottom lane. Like, you're not near any tower to TP2, so I don't think they wanted to take a fight where, you know, maybe it's a 4v4 or something. You don't have all your ultimates.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Play it safe.
So item on Sanctity is going to be really important for the Razor, though. They're looking at Fiend's Grip to hold him through BKB is just pretty much the way you deal with Razor throughout the past couple of months, but importantly as well, the Morph. Like, you are on DB, he's always looking to replicate the Morphling. That is, you know, kind of target number 1, maybe Quap afterwards. So if you can get the Morph on cooldown, then it can give a big advantage for Lilgun in these fights.
Yeah, and the Razor's a big part of why more
DB, just fine up time. Nightmare and looking through the case, but he doesn't get the shield Morph. What a huge Sonic Wave hitting onto all 4, and now Lilgun, they get small behind the tower. 3 down. They're going to move on the high up with Azura. Gets a pretty big ultimate, but where's the control to hold them inside to ring Azura? He's going to pay some respect now to Sanctity. Static Link's on cooldown. They should get him with a... Oh, nice mischief dodge.
Okay.
What about
Oh
it?
boy, I thought they were going to chase him down. I guess, I mean, there was one buyback on Bane there, but 5 versus 2, like, diving tier 4 sounds like it's kind of some YOLO throwy stuff, but killing a Monkey King there honestly would have been huge for them, but perhaps not taking into account the mischief there. Great timing with the dodge, and Lilgun, though, all in all, just going to be walking away so happy. They finally found a good team fight where they got the jump on the Morph. He didn't Morph strength before the spear hit him. This time around, the Nightmare save was there, but as soon as the Nightmare was there, then they followed up with an Orchid. So they just controlled the Morphling, broke his Lincolns, prevented him from getting any Morph strength off, and honestly, that fight just looks totally different if he Morph strength. That's just what these Morphling engagements come down to often.
They're going to run into Ace 12. Rest of Army Genius is slow to connect because, well, they found Kitschker in the river instead. They're going to have the Mars for the team fight. I don't think they can force Roche. They're going to try.
Yeah, they seem intent to try. There's no Sonic Wave for 30, but the rest of their spells, BKB back up now in Razor.
Wami, he sees 4-2-3, trying to play around with the cliff. Oh, no way, Wami makes it out. They're still going to be able to run into the Broodmother. Beautifully done. 4-2-3 almost evading that attempt, and hang on, they've caught another. Chain control from Wami coming through after with the Academ Shard. 11's going to be able to fall. Can they close the distance with the cookie with the blink still on cooldown? DB offers the burst. And Army Geniuses, they hit back. They lost the previous skirmish, but now they're able to even it up and move back to the pit.
Wow. I think that's, you know, the Brood's meant to be the one who doesn't get caught there. He's playing on the webs, on the he's got the Spiderlings out to scout, but the Dire Ward on the high ground, I think, just caught a glimpse of vision for a split
They can
second.
fight
Once
this.
you see the Brood, you jump in.
They've got a read on. Sanctity, you can't force this early BKB. DB he's going to be able to get the attribute shift off, he'll be okay. And now they're committed in. They might be in trouble now. The Fiend's Grip still a potential. They need to look at the Lincolns on Sanctity. But like you said, they're buying time
here. Brood's respawning, Corpse respawning soon, so it's going to be close, but this may stop Roshan.
Zero. They're in his wall. He gets a speed, but again, first with the nightmare. Keeping it Zero alive. He can pop the BKB in the wood man, but Sanctity is going to zap him down. But then hit the BKB. Hang on, 11! Almost killing off DP. Down to the right side, they found the Brood. Barish, chain control coming up for the Fiend's Grip, but the Morphling is unable to stand his ground and right click. They brought him down into a critical threshold so they can respawns. They've done that, and now they can control the pit.
Honestly, this is why they usually put Sanctity on these like win condition heroes. It's like a Razor, not the most like flashy or exciting hero like some of his other ones, but he honestly positions and plays that Roach contest. It's a 3 versus 5. He pulls them away. He holds his BKB. I feel like 90% of Razor players there, pro players, would just pop their BKB way earlier, and as a result, they would live, they wouldn't die, but they wouldn't be able to contest Roshan. They'd be basically wasting BKB, giving up Roshan, and disengaging, and, you know, would be saying, okay, you know, you BKB got a good try. But the way he plays that, how patient he is, it just gives him an opening to get these heroes respawned and ultimately win them that fight. He was just obviously very impressive.
That gives them this big advantage to play with. Ages on to Sanctity. He's already refreshed next, and if you're guys net with lead, he's still holding the crown of the weapon. He's got starting next as well, but it's definitely going to be a window here for Lilgun to take at least a tier 2. They will run into 11. He's going to be forced to Rolling Thunder and Mortimer Kisses. Jesus.
One wasn't necessarily fourth, that was a bit more willingly.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A couple times we've seen this get caught out here. Not that maybe a hero 11 is as comfortable playing compared to some of his Blink initiators.
Radiant's
bottom tower a few times. We're kind of posturing around this top lane as if they want to maybe jump in for a kill, but there we go. The Aether Lens disposed.
Fiddle with the force stuff and
they're a little like they don't really want to commit. Is someone gonna finish him off?
No, so
oh, that looked so funny. That looked like Lilgun were like intentionally letting him live, but I think they just knew they didn't want to overcommit. Like they probably could have finished it off. DB didn't actually rotate back home, nor did Azura, but they were playing it safe, and gotta respect that.
What's your
knowing that, you know, it's not worth eating for a support.
What's your thoughts on the spinner snare on the Brood? It's a wild scepter.
Oh, you know, look, I'm not a Brood player. I thought we established this area. What's going on? Why are you asking me?
Yeah, I think you're lying to us all. You hide behind the filth.
It's like this. It's this vision thing. Like it's look, top lane. Caught the Marcy. But yeah, it's always. I mean, I remember 4-2-3 so in Brood. You know, this guy's level 30. He's played so many games this year. It's probably the right thing to do. Even if he probably knows he has not played that well this game.
Zero? Is he's full? Well, maybe nighttime. They didn't see him. Okay, very close.
See where he set up any of those spinner snares?
Amazing.
No, I saw a couple get procced before. Got one that Snapfire just ran into. It's so dumb. Look, oh, it's so dumb.
Yeah, I wish they were easy to see or find in the map.
They're
it's just like you put him on ramp, just control
I got Wummy. He's gonna swashbuckle in. Meanwhile, Sanctity's gonna put the emphasis in. Well, that's a beautiful start from Lilgun. I don't think there's anything they can do to keep the Pango alive. Even an ultimate committed from 11. They'll get the kill regardless, even though the Sonic Wave not really having a lot of impact. But that's no Pango now for 70. And this tower's gonna take a beating.
Dire's courier has been killed.
What's DB doing?
Dire's
Wait,
middle
DB?
tower is under attack. Dire's
Just
middle tower has
chilling on the cliff.
Yep. So yeah, these spinner snares, he just puts them around the map. He's putting them on like any kind of ramp. I think there's one on the high ground at top. There was one behind the lane. There's one going into like basically any ramp he's on, and it just gives you a lot of info. Scout things out and figure out what's going on.
From what I saw, DB? Oh, they're gonna miss the spear. DB should be okay. Mob's gonna be back up shortly as well. As he looked to play within this, they needed to with the Lilguns. Got the Finch right side. Beautifully done. They'll get the first life. Now they've got the ring already set up for the next. They might have to be forced to pop refresher for the BKB, but the chain control's gonna come out beforehand. Sanctity just being able to evade to the left. Dude, the spinner snare. Oh my god. Just hold through back, man. So I saw Ace when I was doing a little bit of D2DL. I saw Ace on Gaming Gladiators. He was really putting a lot of emphasis on the scepter. It was going like first, second item, and it was dumb. Like, it was the dumbest thing. It looked so goddamn strong. And I haven't seen a lot of other broods like feel the importance of going for it that early, but he felt like this item is really, really broken on the brood. So I'm just excited to kind of see it again, and I feel like it does provide you a lot as well. Like you said, kind of just the map control. You're blocking off a high ground.
Yeah, and it's such a low cooldown. It just feels like you can have them everywhere. So it protects your side of the map. You can use it offensively. It just wherever you're playing, it feels like you're going to have this kind of sort of vision. I mean, it doesn't give vision, but it lets you know when someone procs it. So it just gives you a lot of info. And it gives you this sense of security where if you're farming somewhere and you have them around you, you know that, you know, you're probably, you're going to know when a game's coming your way.
Is there a position you would feel a little bit more comfortable to be in at this stage of the game? Because it is both very even.
Oh, I feel personally slightly Lilgun favorite. As much as this Morphling is like the scary late game character, he's all on his own. Like, Monkey King just isn't scaling well enough in terms of being unfarmed. Pangolier starting to get some items, but it just feels like there's more late game firepower on this Lilgun side with Razor, as well as the Brood getting all these crazy utility items. Late game Marcy, you're looking at Aether Lens, Blink, Dispose Initiation. I just feel like we haven't seen Lilgun like cleanly play around some of these initiations, but they're there, and to me they're going to cause problems.
And for Lilgun, who do you feel like has to be? Who's that priority number one that you're looking to jump in these fights?
I think the supports, the backline, like they're so squeezed. Like you can't let a Bane get a full action team script on someone like your Razor, for example. You at least need a direct
jump in, Ace. He's got no more follow-up, so Ace just going to lose his life. Meanwhile, with the backline, they're going to target another Broodmother as well. It's Wami finds 4-2-3, and Nightmare to make sure they can surround the carry on Lilgun. And meanwhile, Wami, he's controlling more heroes. Doesn't have any follow-up afterwards with the rest of the team to lock 11 into place, but Army Genius is fine too, and that's right at the front of the tier 2 tower.
Yeah. Kind of interesting. Brood never ended up going back for that BKB. He had it queued up for quite some time after the but decided to buy the Yags, now buying and going to the side to buy, so...
Sanctity?
Oh.
Nice ag shot from Wami. Beautiful timing. And the Fiend's Grip as well. DB's going to be forced to turn to try and deal with 11. They got the bash coming out afterwards. And meanwhile, they've also brought down Kishka.
Souls Refresher, but who else is with the Razor? Popeye's back, but you don't feel good about that one. And DB on the high ground is just this unstoppable Morphling. All of a sudden, one initiation, this Pingo. I guess that's the big thing I didn't factor. Like, Brood playing without a BKB just makes some of these fights so hard to win. If he ever gets close, he just dies.
Alright, well, there's your Sonic Wave now down as well. So, melee racks.
3 racks, walk in, walk out, go back and take Roche. They've only got 20 seconds before Mars is back though, so see if they can get
They're going back in.
They're
going back in. The lane ward scouting out Sanctity, but Ace 1 with a drag back. Kate makes it to the high gun, beautifully positioned from Demacy. What? They're going to probably double back to their high ground of the triangle. They need to keep the wards alive, but not having Wukongs and the Rolling Thunder, I actually don't think they can take this fight.
See if they can. I think they feel like they have to smoke out on the Lilgun side because of Roshan. There is the Brood thing. Okay, so Brood scouts someone in Roshan. The pings are coming out. They know where some of the heroes are. and they're trying to get the full smoke wraparound. Like Mars is positioning above the pit.
They see 11. They see 11. No one else is near him. Oh man, that blink timing.
They do not want to play around this cliff because I think Lilgun knows that's going to be warded. That's why they smoke all the way up top and avoid it, because they've lost control of this high ground. They're ancient, so they need to, you know, they want to contest Roshan, but they need to avoid this area. They have Spiderling so they can scout out some of these heroes in here, but it's still very tricky for them to get a good initiation.
I think if your army geniuses, you just shove in mid. So unfortunately, you can't shove in bot as well to force them back, but they have a high ground that they have to defend. And okay, now you get confirmation with the scan. So you don't want to enter this side of the map. You know it's warded. The only way to really do it is smoke and drop a ward down as soon as it pops. So shove in mid and just force them back.
Yeah, I think you could theoretically even pressure the bottom tier 3 tower with someone like Morphling, but like you say, just keep pressuring that mid lane. Right now, Logan's committing to giving up their range racks. DB's going to come in. There we go. Morphling's doing exactly what you're saying.
They showed DB not being at this team fight potentially. So Logan, one is actually going to try to charge into the Rolling Thunder. Sanctity talking down Azura is going to attempt the TPR. I don't think they've got an answer to this. You have to Monkey King their army geniuses. They need to retreat. Oh, TP. He has enough variety. Waveforms into the middle. Sanctity still has a BKB to play with, but DB standing strong against the world. He's going to try and man fight Sanctity. Where's the assistance? No one's there for DB. Just gets the waveform down to the low ground, but where's the hunt? They're going to turn to the Pango instead. One move with the Ag Shot still to play with. The rest of Army Genius is soon to connect.
Out of mana.
Oh, they're not going to get him.
Radiant's middle tower.
That looks so good for Lilgun, but they just couldn't quite finish off like the Morphling as well as the Pango. The Pango just so goddamn tanky. Walks into another spinner's web, but yeah, they just didn't quite have the damage. And this is maybe the problem with this Brute going for this very utility-oriented build. Queen of Pain in the offlane, like, you know, she does some decent damage, but she's not going to carry you games. The Morphling, who was just able to tank everything that was thrown at him, as well as this Pango, I felt like for sure was going to die. But all the utility items, he survived through it.
Ooh, okay, DB's level 25. He's got Satanic now and Pellet and Sword. Jesus Christ, my guy is farm 12, 1, and 7. Oh, DB.
Oh, they're in here, they're Spiderling, they have the spinner snare as well, but
he's going to move in.
Play.
Get the jump.
They go for a steal.
Oh, what a rolling thunder! Suns up 3. Can they get the Aegis? DB finds it. They've got the second life, and they're just killing everyone. Wommy gets the backline with the help of them all. The kisses, the artillery just raining down hellfire as Lilgun. They didn't have a sense of that fight, just losing all 3 heroes. They don't kill anyone on Army Geniuses, and now this high ground soon to be besieged.
Honestly, this Brood just can't play without BKB. Like, she's trying to run in and she's just getting hit by a Boundless Strike, then Mortimer's Kisses, Rolling Thunders. Every single fight, it feels like this Brood is just unable to... This guy's the Brood expert. Like, I trust him on what he's doing and how he's itemizing, but it just feels like everything was kind of set back for him from the start. With his lane stage going poorly, he itemized, you know, in a different way, like this non-carry style. And I just don't feel like we see this Brood's impact on any single team fight.
Going for it. T4 is trying to force some buybacks. From Radiant as well to play with. Kishka's in. They don't get the attribute shift. Oh, that is the most ideal start for them. They need a way to be able to set up for round 2 though. DB, well, he's not going to give him that opportunity. Double waveform, getting rid of the Mars. Need to get the morph because Wommy instead he's going to be in. Feedskip as well to the right side. The multi-man boundless strike, and that'll be it. Army Geniuses, a statement of a last fight. It's time to celebrate. We're diving the fountain as DB take a bow. What an incredible game 2 from the Morphling. Just brings them all the way home to send us to a game 3.
Radiant's middle tower.
They didn't GG yet. Okay, Morphling got out. If Morphling died in the fountain there, this game maybe could have dragged, but what a way to end it. Army Geniuses. 12 can't do anything. Oh, okay.
I missed.
That's an interesting TP in.
Yeah. Look, she's going for some stat padding. They're buying back. They know they can end this game. That's it. GG's fine. You ended on such an exclamation mark, and I was like, wait a second. Is this game actually over? They're fountain diving. Monkey did die in the fountain. Unfortunately, almost diamond found it, but yeah, what a way to bounce back here. And single-handedly carry this game.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Puck!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Templar Assassin.
Radiant team pick.
Monkey King.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Sky Wrath Mage.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Send.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Bloodseeker.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Terror blade.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Choose your hero.
Don't be negative. Be positive.
这波不亏666。
To that stage where they can.
Prepare for battle. Prepare for battle.
Yeah, I think they'll get to the stage where they'll be able to just have much easier times in team fights. Wait, what's going? Hang on, I don't wanna miss this chat. What's going on? So new year, new me. Says Varish, and then they say, sure, good luck. Have, I don't know. They're tipping a bunch of players. Some crazy stuff is going on. I think Army Geniuses. Again, I'm very concerned about the early game, and I think that's. I think Lilgun can take it in that stage. But what are your thoughts, Parker? Come on, you got to give me your prediction now.
I'm with Army Geniuses too. You know.
You just copy me. Okay.
I wanna
You wanted me to
compliment
go
them, exactly.
first?
Yeah. This way I can't be wrong. I mean, if I'm wrong, it's like I'm not going to lose to you. You know, we're both wrong. Safe bet. I think the big thing you kind of touched on, it's their team.
30
Their team
seconds
fight
to
is
battle.
much stronger. It's much easier to execute. You know, Blink Stun, Puck Dream Coil. The Phoenix Egg doesn't. There's not that many things good at killing the egg this game. Yeah, the TA can kind of hit it, but no one's hitting it with the TA potentially, and you may just have to disengage against it. So I do feel like Army Jesus team up. The one thing I worry for Army Jesus is these like Phoenix, Sand King. This lane could just get stopped. Like, I think Bloodseeker Skyreth honestly
The battle
maybe
begins.
destroys this lane.
Begins.
Phoenix is a super weak laner this time.
Go ahead.
这波不亏
That's a good start.
666
It's a beautiful stop. You're gonna get all 4.
What? All right, can't change my
Wait.
prediction. 4 range.
You can if you want. I don't know what Varish just did with the rebound, but okay.
He hit it.
No, he didn't hit it. He completely
Oh.
missed it, and he didn't even go in the direction of Kishka. So that's also a meta where you're only going to have it. You don't have it for at least the second wave, which often you really like to have as a Terrorblade.
They're showing some good zoning. Like you say, they're only going to have it for a bit more of this first wave. Monkey's even getting in to get these last hits, sneaking in. Yeah, they're zoning them with this meta, but once it wears off now, it does feel like Underlord can come in and get what he wants out of the wave.
DB, how did he last hit now? Into the Atrophy Aura with the Quelling Blade on 11? Do you feel like they messed up the start of the lane?
Sort of. Like, you wanted to get a bit more, I think. Like, ideally, you want the Metamorph for Harass plus, like, a couple of creep waves. Instead, they didn't even get it for 1 creep. But he can still, like, this is still TB. He still last hits even without Metamorph. If he's not getting
Top lane, Narman.
double melee.
He's going to go down. First blood, you just mentioned that. Phoenix, not a good laner. Then this guy, Bloodseeker, is going to have a beautiful time. And, well, they're already showing that to be the case.
No
I think
blood
they
for
feel
you.
it. I just think their lane is so weak. Bloodseeker's going to have the freest time. So they already have the Sentry, triple Mango and Skyreth. They're just going to have such a free lane here. It may get ugly. This could be this Lilgun could just win the game off of this top lane. Like, that's how strong I think their lane is.
So I feel like there's multiple routes to go down now for Army Geniuses with this top lane. Either Narman looks to pull, or Narman just looks to stack cans by the Ancients. What is the kind of route you feel is preferred in this matchup?
Ooh. I don't think... I mean, the side pulling the big camp is, I think, dream scenario, but I'm not sure they're going to give it to you for free. I think you just have to follow your Sand King's lead. Like, your Sand King needs to farm the lane, and he can't do so in the
Bottom lane, Kishka. They're fighting on top of the Firestorm. Kishka goes in with a rebound, but that's all they needed.
No meta, no problem.
No problem. I meant pull the wave as well. So like drag creep, sorry, not pull wave.
From behind the waves, got it. Yeah, I think he just has to match the Skyreth a bit. What's going on here? It's full health, and they just get him down like to 150 health. And I mean, they gotta use their spells, but Blood Drive plus a concussive, like that doesn't really cost them much.
How's this mid matchup shaping up though? Oh, Azura's actually doing a lot better than what I was expecting. I guess in this lane you just forced to kind of CS with the orb, but it has been a TA puck matchup. It's been TA favored for quite some time.
Yeah, it swung a slightly less favored. I think it was like, I don't know, probably a couple years ago now, where Puck got like a base damage buff. You see Puck in the mid lane had like really low base damage. So it's gotten a tiny bit better, but yeah, it's still TA favored. TA farms the jungle camps a little better than the Puck as well. I think with all the runes, Puck benefits from the runes more. Like even the water runes, because in the past you couldn't just spam your spells, you would run out of mana, but now with all these runes, Puck is able to... Good job landing all these side blades though, and putting a 0 on the backboard.
Bottom lane, DB, with that second round of the Metamorphosis, Varish is able to jump in as well, so... This time they're able to convert, and they will have this meta for multiple waves to be able to play with as well. Also kind of frees up Varish to now do whatever he wants, and he's going to look for a stack at the small. Yeah, does he get it?
Or me top, in trouble.
Beautifully done. Ace 12 and 4-2-3 combined together. He's not going to get any distance away with the Burrow Strike and won't even go for it.
That's the thing with Phoenix. Like, what do? You're Sanking, trying to farm a wave, and he just gets going on. I don't know if his Fire Spirit's on cooldown. He didn't end up using any spells. Maybe they were just down. Even if he had Fire Spirits there, it means they'd maybe take a bit longer to get the kill. But this is what Norman needs to do. Try to get this side pull off. This side pull is the one thing that can maybe salvage the lane. But things are pretty ugly up here.
It's going to be difficult when the puck can rotate as well, because if you leave the TA in a lane that's pushed out with refraction damage, then the tower's going to take a little bit of harassment, which you never want to give up early. And it's going to give a lot of control over the Lilgun, but I do think that's kind of what we're looking for, though. Azure, if he can find a power room, make that rotation top, and try and unlock the Sand King. And are they going to look for mid? Azure does have level 6 already. Refractions? Oh, he missed the coil. And hang on, Veru's just got to be pretty cautious. One more right click will be enough, but Sanctity going to reposition. And now they know that DB's alone. He's going to be able to path his way out of the Firestorm, and without that damage, DB should be fine. Kishka?
Like, come on, I'm still TP. He's like, I'll fight you.
Wommy top lane now. With all the thirst movement speed from mid and bottom, 4-2-3, he can chase down Wommy with the help of Ace 12. And they're going to give the kill over to 4-2-3. He's off to a flying start on the Bloodseeker.
That miss made it so close. I think they had it all planned out. Maybe they even knew probably Refraction was down. The coil into... I mean, Marcy disposed, great at breaking coil. Should have been a free kill, and the coil missing just meant Sanctity able to race through it, and then suddenly the side lanes go Lilgun's way because of that TP rotation.
Radiant are
This was the big thing you were mentioning.
3 lanes being won.
Yep.
Or 2 lanes being won.
And that's kind of what you need to do for Lilgun. If you have this lineup that is looking to just run over the game, the beautiful way to set yourselves up to succeed is off the back of the lanes and snowballing that into a really good early game.
Definitely where the early Phoenix pick can be, you know, punished, and I think Lilgun, you know, we saw the Bloodseeker come out, we're like, oh, why are they picking Bloodseeker? It's not good against, like, you know, it doesn't counter anything with Rupture, but it's a super strong laner, and you pair it with this Skywrath who has a lot of kill threat. He just has a rough time.
They're gonna try an 11. Maybe has the level 6 to be able to play with. They're going to toss it back into the Firestorm. DB's going to be cautious, but as soon as the Firestorm expires, he should be able to stand his ground and go toe-to-toe with Kishka. They're going to try and TP down the Templar Assassin in case they continue the chase. And, oh, hang on a second. Sanctity, they've got the haze to play with. Verish is just going to have to try and dispose away the Templar Assassin and play into the tree line. It's going to look to turn to get the kill onto the Marcy, but with Narman showing up, that Sunray heal will be enough to keep the Army Geniuses heroes alive.
Play the move from Narman just to stop the hasted TA, but now they know Womi's alone. As soon as he TP's bottom, Ace 12 was pinging Womi like, this guy sticks around, we go in him. We don't let him play here by himself. Unfortunately for Sanctity, unable to connect with the haste room, but with the haste, he's able to get right back to the mid lane, so he doesn't waste too much time or anything. Both mid and top lane continue to go well, and you know, it's TA. Her job isn't to really gank. The only reason she makes that move is because haste rune, that's like the one rune that allows you to make a play like that. Doesn't work out. He's like, okay, let's focus on doing TA things, farming my jungle, stacking camps, getting my item time.
It's nice little pick me up though from Wommy. I think it was a triple at the Ancients. So he gets his level 6 now. He gets a bounty from the shop. He'll take whatever he can get.
Radiant's top tower is
His
under
TP's
attack.
taking chip best, unfortunately.
He's going to be in trouble though. They'll see him rotating back with this Observer Ward.
Well, a sentry. So they'll have the vision from the Thirst if they get him low enough. But he's playing very defensively. He seems to be well aware of this Skywrath's presence up here.
Denied.
They don't have vision in the top lane, but they have it in that top river. So I think they've, you know, been able to recognize that Skywrath is still playing in the neighborhood. Ace 12 finally comes in to block the Ancients. That, you know, I feel like if he'd done that sooner, it would have really crippled the Sand King's game. So,
Regeneration.
just TP's out.
He 4-2-3 stepped a bit too far. Oh, speedy boy.
Yeah, Sand King didn't TP the base, so he wasn't healing. He TP'd the tier 2. Good use of the voice line, although wrong team.
You got to use him at the perfect timing.
Radiant's middle tower is
The
under
voice
attack.
lines, but the full effectiveness. Let's go. Coil out. Where's the sun ray from Narman though to burn down the refraction? It's going to come through the last second of the dispose as well to toss him further back into the river, but yeah, they don't have the damage to kill off Sanctity.
Honestly, that's what, like, you know, you can tell he's a TA player. Like, he's putting himself in a position where he can theoretically get ganked, but he does so because he has double refraction. So yeah, they can burn through it the first time, but then he's able to recast it since the duration and cooldown kind of match itself. So he got value out of this first one and then had a way to recast it, but they were never going to bring it.
3,000 net worth lead though for Lilgun. 10. So everything is looking like they're clicking on all cylinders to be able to find this really big BKB timing from both the cores. They got a pretty gigantic stack as well for Sanctity to be able to fall back on. Do you feel like Army Genius is this in the back of their mind, maybe to contest this, or they're not in the position to do so?
They will be for sure with Sanking Blink. Phoenix level 6 needs his Tome of Knowledge. He's actually short on gold. But yeah, I mean, their team fight's insane. Like, it's Sanking, Phoenix, Puck. Theoretically, they could even bring TB in early for some, like, metamorphosis fighting, but just the first 3 heroes I mentioned, they'll be ready to contest stacks. But the big thing is getting vision and making the right timings and smoke moves. You know, easier said than done. Dire is gonna... They're well aware of this potential for, you know, the team fight to come and gank the TA, and that's why they're setting up wards all around the TA's ancients. One right on the top of the ramp, one on the other side of the river. They're using the TA traps to protect that area of the map. They're just doing everything right to play defensive for now. Like, they're going to play with pace once they get these BKBs, but they don't really want to fight into mass AoE team fight until late.
We've got all 3 cores that are just free farming. The Bloodseeker as well picked up his really farming accelerant in the Maelstrom. 423 getting a pretty decent timing, and he's back to the jungle. And yeah, I mean, Army Geniuses without... The only way they really pressure towers is the use of the meta. And you see DB, he hasn't been forced away from his own bottom jungle, so they seem like they're pretty happy with at least... Well, maybe happy is not the right word. I feel like they're forced into this position just because of how the lanes were set up. But they do have this blink now, so we might see, you know, blink epi. You can take a bit of a team fight actually, because you have Coil and Supernova as well. With the haste to 0. There we go. Calls out. They're going to try and bring down the Skyreth Mage. And they should be able to do so with relative ease. So that's a bit of a kill. And you'll take whatever you get, especially with the 0 getting closer now to the Witchblade.
So in TP's mid, there is an Arcane Room, which looks like Sanctity will win the race too. So definitely want to deny these runes from Puck, because at least this phase of the game is where Army Genius is going to be more active. They've got, you know, level 11 Puck, they've got Sanking Blink.
For the twins.
They're behind on gold, but they're the ones who want to make plays, while Lilgun mostly looking to farm. Maelstrom, Bloodseeker, me chilling, farming some stacks in jungle. Same for the TA, as you said. BKB timings is really what they're all about right now. Monkey King is going to be on top lane duty.
They're looking for a kill bottom on 11.
Okay.
They got meta, and they should be able to run into 11 in the tree line. Great use of the reflection, but the team's TPing in. They're going to be really quick with the kill and then look to get out. The Roots locking DB along with Varish into place. They're going to try and drop the Mystic Flare. The damage is enough to at least trade the life of the Underlord for the Marcy, but is Army Geniuses that come out on top in that trade?
The Underlord. Both teams rotating a lot of heroes to do so, and Sanctity's still farming though. I feel like in some ways, like, yeah, they get the bigger kill, but at the same time, Lilgun are farming where it matters. Like, the Underlord having, like, this great game and getting a lot of farm isn't really a necessary component of their game going well, so... They're able, the fact they're able to defend the top lane, you know, it's a Monkey King. Him getting farm doesn't matter, but it's more just, like, the idea that they're defending all their towers. They've yet to lose a single one, and they're getting farm on TA. That's really what counts more than anything. Hey, TP's having a free time. Like, he's the one hero keeping up in terms of farm. And he's the one hero that scales probably better than anyone. So his matchup against the TA and his ability to go late game is really what, you know, that's the plan B for Army Geniuses. They plan A, let's team fight, let's win some, you know, let's take some fights right now, contest stacks. But the plan B TB is a pretty solid one.
Charging up the epicenter. They have the ward on Ace 12's position, so they're going to be able to bring down the Sky to start. I don't think they get 11. They've got 2 points in the Sun Ray, so they'll make the attempt. 4-2-3 and Sanctity are moving to the area, but they need a way to be able to protect the Supernova, and they don't have a way. Wommy just gets the Burrow Strike up, but he's going to move into his own grave. There's now Azura. He orbs to the right, so he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Actually, he's able to finish the kill. Hunting him though.
Okay.
Boundless Storm caught up at 10. He should make it.
Team could go hunting, but Boundless Strike in 3. So Puck deciding not to TP out or anything. They'll lose this tower.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Hit him on the ball. The last second time. Orbs up in 2 seconds. They've got the Sun Ray as well. That should be enough to keep Azura alive. And they're starting to make their way bottom. Wommy only 2 points in the Burrow Strike, so the range isn't the greatest. They also see Ace 12 starting to converge bottom as well, so...
Ludwig is pretty fast. I don't know if you want to fight into him while Puck's so low. Does look like they'll decide against re-engaging. Whew. I don't know what happened that fight. Who comes out on top?
Our TB's got Mantle and he took T1 top. Like, he's been free farming, but also Sanctity got involved a little bit. This is all down to this T1 tower. If you're able to get this tower, then it opens up the pit for Lilgun. You can get a lot more aggressive with your heroes because you are looking for pickoffs. So I think the next couple of minutes come down to if Army Geniuses waste their ultimates and don't get enough value out of them, then Lilgun are just going to instantly convert to get this tier 1, and then it's going to be so important for kind of the mid game.
They definitely need to get kills during them, because any drawn out fight, that's where Bloodseeker is. Like, so happy. They need to get kills, during Coil, during Supernova, during Epicenter. Kind of Norman just diving in for a Supernova with nothing to protect it, as we just saw, unfortunately. Yeah, as long as they're alive, they can always contest a Roshan because of how scary this team fight is. They smoke up, good vision in the semi jungle. They actually see 11 making his way towards top, and they know he's alone, so they may just want to jump him and take the free kill.
And they will. This is an incredible play from Army Geniuses. You look to connect to your Terrorblade because he has meta to play with. So if you win a team fight, you can take an objective, and they're going to look for Rosh instead. So that read is just perfect. You know the farming pattern at TB, moving top, and you always keeping tabs on when your carry can get involved.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Lilgun had no idea. They were actually scanning Roshan. Like, right before he died, they thought, maybe there's Roshan. Let's scan this just to make sure that TB isn't doing something sneaky with illusions and metamorphosis, but... honestly, great move from Army Geniuses. They get the kill. They continue to control this top side of the map. They continue also to defend the mid-tier 1. Both teams in their mid-tier 1s is so important, as you mentioned, for Roshan control. Lilgun, like their draft is designed to kind of snowball off of these BKBs, and there's no guarantees they're going to be able to just because they get BKBs doesn't mean they're going to suddenly...
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
There's ways to play around BKBs on the Army G's side, not to mention a farm TB who can easily kill heroes.
They do have their first on Lilgun. Bloodseeker has his last component coming out, and where is Sanctity up to? Can always disassemble the Dragon Lance if required, so he's going to be pretty close to his own BKB. It's soon to be go time though on Lilgun.
Boy, pretty unconventional item pickup. Satanic on TB, second item.
Ooh.
You know, talk about, you want to play, you know, against Bloodseeker, you need a carry that just stands their ground while ruptured. This item gives it to you.
Also, some incredible value with the Dispel this game. Ancient Seal, get rid of some of the roots, the silence on the Bloodseeker. So, not only do you have the Manta, but now you have a kind of second item to play with. So, that might... You do have to be a bit cautious, though. I don't know if they can stun him into Mystic Flare, because all it is really the Boundless. So, maybe doesn't need a BKB this game with kind of the more defensive route he's gone down?
I think it's like you just get enough stats that you survive through the... Sure. I mean, there isn't much of a chain stun, like you said. There's like chain silences, but the nice thing is like you can always just, like you say, dispel off the silence, but when you need to sunder. So there's not really a window for them to like chain your silences because he can use his items. The way he can chain stun. So I honestly really like his itemization in this game. I think it's really clever, and it's going to cause Lilgun problems when it comes to killing this TB. They're probably going to have to focus the supporting cast. Like, TB can't just 1v5, so
Dire's top tower
if you
is
go in
under
the TB
attack.
first, I think the fight's going to go poorly for Lilgun.
And they do have the capability, I think, to kill the supporting cast. You're going to have Kishka probably... It's going to be, I think, a jump in from Sanctity with the blink, and then Kishka will boundless one of the supports so they can get that kill. Preferably the Phoenix is who they're targeting. And then maybe that can open up the fight to find another pick off then. Look at Kishka.
Playing the farm move. Yeah,
He might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Once one is TP, he's the first to make it. Beautifully done. They'll deal with this pest down bottom in Kishka. It's multiple heroes though, so it does kind of free up mid though.
Radiant's middle
Yeah.
tower is under attack.
So actually,
Radiant's
I
middle
think you're
tower
fine with that if
is
you're low
falling.
gun, you're not giving up Roshan.
Dire's middle
It
tower
never
is
feels
under attack.
good when you TP back to like the bottom tier 2 tower, unless there's like a team fight happening. Like multiple TPs, like that's just a part of the map where you don't want to play. Like one hero wants to play down there and just soak up the farm, but you don't want to have 2 to 3 heroes. You want to play aggressive. You want to be pushing out mid, pushing out top. You know, you're playing Radiant. You want to control the Roshan area. So that was a good move from Lilgun, who showing the strength of this TA now. Sanctity,
Dark Rift to the
pressing
back. Wummy, he's going to be caught inside. The first run into the follow-up. Azura's going to try and deal with the support on the backline in the Skyeth Mage, but has to be cautious now. The Ancient Seal. Azura's going to try and duck out to the right, but Sanctity is in. It's a lot of damage in 4-2-3. Well, he doesn't jaunt away, but Ace 12... He's going to run straight into the Skyeth Mage instead. And that's Roche now. You've already taken tier 1. Sanctity, he's instantly going to beeline to the pit.
There's so many silences, and now they've got the Atos as well. So the silences plus the roots. There's the Atos plus pit. There's the Skywrath silence. And it just makes life with heroes like this buck and even the Sanctity so miserable. And that's exactly like you say. They're just looking for that one fight. Oh, they will
fight this.
Well,
They can fight this. They have Supernova and Wummy up. TV's ready to go.
Dire's top tower
Yep.
is under attack.
Look at the sun ray, man.
Lilgun, you got to get out. You got to give this one up. Come back another day.
Do you
Wait for that
force it?
next team fight with you. I mean,
Dire's top
Lilgun
tower
definitely do
is
not
under
want to right
attack.
now.
But can Army Geniuses?
It's tricky. I think just putting yourself in the pit is not the easiest way to go about it because they don't have defensive items. Like, there's no BKB on TV. Puck can't really go in the pit, so you know you're asking to kind of get initiated on by some kind of boundless strike into Blood Ride, and it does seem like the main goal is just to keep Lilgun out of the pit. They've succeeded that, so they'll keep the illusion in the pit, keep scanning things out, and wait for that next big team fight.
Big rune there for DB to find. It's the illusion rune, satanic, so he should be able to push out multiple lanes or just get a lot more farm to the neutrals. It's still this Lilgun though with a very heavy advantage. The Sand King is just finding nothing out of the map. 0-4-4 is Wummy, so it's not like what we saw 11. It's going to be a completely different game. That Sand King who scaled for Lilgun, yeah, it's not going to be the case here for Army Geniuses.
It does feel like the lead is maybe a tiny bit misleading, just because Lilgun's super strong now. They could just suddenly break open this game. This game here.
DB, he's going to do a lot of damage. 4-2-3 needs to respect the turret blade. Can he mancer off the silence though? He's trouble. Careful, it's under target. DB, no he doesn't. Norman tried to fly into the middle, but it was a bit too late. And now Lilgun, oh man, just entering the triangle. This should be Roche now.
Great. Little smoke move, they get the jump, they get the rupture on the TP. I think he maybe popped his Satanic a little early, and once he popped Metamorphosis Satanic, everyone just like, we're like, okay, let's chill, let's let him just sit there in the Skywrath ultimate melting away. And Sanctity, you know, he blinks in, he's BKB. He just BKBs just to stop Sunder. There wasn't a single spell that he was worried about other than Sunder when he BKB'd there. Roshan being playing puck, didn't get the orb timing right with his guess, so he won't get a chance to go for his steal, so this is what Lilgun were waiting for. I think Army Genius did a really good job of like contesting the first couple, but their draft is just unforgiving. Like, I mean, any draft against a TA, you lose one fight, you lose Roshan. That's just the nature of how TA drafts work.
4-2-3, he's going this Ag Shard next as well on the Bloodseeker. So he's going to start doing a lot of damage. The lads. I mean, TB has a bunch of armor, but you've got the Maelstrom procs, you've got the pure damage soon to be coming out. So it's not only the Templar Assassin you have to be worried about.
Seems to be buying it right now, even though he's got the money. Wonder if he's going to prioritize the butterfly over it, or what's the plan here.
Swiftly
Does sound
to
like
the
a really
temple's
nice. And yeah, they've got
Temple's
not just the
defense.
BKBs on the mid and carry. 11 on his Underlord has a BKB now, so he's not going to be afraid of any kind of puck. Really, the puck's job is going to be trying to get some of these backline supports, particularly the Skywrath Mage, who is just so pesky in these fights.
Dire's middle tower
And
is
just,
under
like, you know,
attack.
puck can't play that aggressive. There's too many things that
Radiant's
kill him.
body and
There's
tower
now
is
even
under attack.
a orchid on the monkey kick,
Radiant's
so
radiants are fortified.
so many ways that you can just get caught out
Dire's
here.
middle tower is
If
under
you're an
attack.
army genius, like
Radiant's
hero that
bottom
relies on
tower
mobility.
is
Not just
under
us, but
attack.
heroes like
Under
Phoenix, same
attack.
thing. If you
Dire's
get
structure
these
is
silences and
fortified.
roots, just make life so miserable.
Yeah, and it's not like the yours is going to help out too much, because you use off the Orchid or one of the Silence, but you just drop Pit. it's a very
Dire's
wonky
top
item
tower
to be
is
playing with, but for me, I don't know what happened with the Silence. He must have silenced a creep. I think TB needs Skadi, and I don't think they are going to be able to win a fight unless Lilgun mess up somewhere in the team fight, and it's the Phoenix and kind of Sand King that can win them over with their ultimates. Otherwise, we're really looking for DB Skadi to be the time where they feel maybe strong to be able to fight back Lilgun.
Under attack.
Yeah, and really looks really good. Like, big team fight around Coil plus Egg. You've got the Marcy disposed to break Coil. You know, you've got a TB against Bloodseeker TA. Like, this is a really good TB game. So I don't mind seeing Army Geniuses just slow it down, turtle it up. You're playing against a negative TA. Don't take team fights, even though you've got this big team fight draft, because you're just getting out farmed and, you know, you're being outgunned just based on net worth right now. So stalling out this game, using TB to split push, and just taking a fight, like you say, with Skadi, or even like more farm, more levels. Like, don't fight for another 10 minutes. Like, that favors Army Genius as long as they're not getting too heavily.
High ground defense is not the greatest though. You're not going to see high ground this ages, but if you get a fast row spawn on the next, maybe they're still not set up by that stage, then it's going to be very difficult to prevent Lilgun from getting objectives.
Middle tower is fallen.
It's hard. Like, someone like Sand King can't really. He can frontline, but it's tricky because, you know, Bloodseeker will just throw a rupture on him maybe. Then he gets forced back. He may just die if, you know, he gets blinked on. So definitely a scenario where, at least for now, they're okay with his first Aegis, but they may be put under pressure to contest the next breakdown.
They're reading DB perfectly.
He's got no BKB. He can't do TP out. Can't BKB TP. If he gets found, he's dead. Even if he gets a Sunder off, like, they'll kill him eventually. So makes his way to the trees and TP. Honestly, could have been really bad for Army Geniuses.
Let's force them all top though, so this could give a bit of a opportunity for Army Geniuses just to get into their jungle. Maybe get some wards up or D-ward as well. I have a lot of control bottom. They are starting to mass TP down actually. It's going to be the Monkey and TA that reclaim this side of the map.
They have all this vision. They see all these heroes down.
Wummy. Oh, great reaction from Kishka with the silence. They're going to be able to join them with a Dark Rift, the Boundless Strike, so Sankity can set up with the damage. Supernova the last second, but again, there's no way to protect it. Egg goes down, and 423 is going to charge onto DB. Gotta get out. I don't know if Army Genius can take this fight. They might get the first life, though. The Illusion should finally deal with the TA's Aegis.
Okay. They fought back on Sanking there. That was just... That fight was doomed before it even began. When you're fighting into all that Lilgun vision, like, I think, you know, cute idea. Like, Wormy's like, okay, I got these Yule Scepter. They're going to silence me. I can pop the Yules and then use my spells. But there's follow-up on the enemy. You use yourself, and then there's a Pit of Malice waiting for you. So even though you can get out of silences, there's so many other things that the Yules is bad against. So such a tough game for Wormy. And he's got a Lotus queued up. I feel like he needs a BKB
They're
almost.
stalking DB. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. He's got 5k gold. He needs to buy something soon. He has to sit around with the gold.
Sunry, look at the percent damage. There's going to be a big kill on 11 and they'll get it. Sanctity's going to go okay off the back of the haste. Azura doesn't have the coil to be playing with, so they will be able to get out. They've got the Scotty now completed as well.
They want to chase for more, but can't find anything just yet.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
One mid tower would be a really nice pickup for them. Center being primed in case they need it for a fight here.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Lummy, oh no. Oh boy.
Look, Lilgun didn't realize. Maybe. Yeah, it's not sure if he like intentionally cast it thinking a fight was about to happen, or if he just messed up the pump faking. Someone pick up your cushioning charm. Don't lose another neutral item.
Okay.
Dire's top tower is
Being
under
left for the
attack.
puck. That's a really nice one for the puck to have.
It's really big now that Army Genius get that tower, because it can just at least open up you to get better wards down. You've got 2 around mid, which hopefully you're able to take a fight with, and you see they are kind of grouping up, making sure this doesn't get dewarded for free. But if they lose these wards, the map's going to go once again back to darkness. Lilgun, they always have this advantage with the Monkey Scout for the TA traps. They've got some incredible kind of deep lane wards as well that I've been impressed with how they've been able to position them. So all eyes on Army Genius is how they can play around mid with their vision. And well, they're going to lose the Phoenix Jesus Sanctity up the mega killing streak.
It's using their vision so well. I feel like these traps not being rewarded, I guess. I don't know if that's the correct word, but these traps not being killed is a big issue. Like, Radiant need a gem in my mind. Maybe Puck or Sankin could carry it. Probably the Puck is your best bet. Maybe Puck probably doesn't want to buy it, but these traps just give too much info. Like, the entire Dire triangle is trapped up, while the bottom jungle has Observer Ward, sentries everywhere. So there's just not many parts of the map where Army Genius can walk without being scouted out.
Run.
And if they can get to that stage, though, on Army Geniuses, what's the probability? Yeah, 70% still for them. I mean, if you can get the puck to 25, that is a gigantic timing. Just, I mean, with all the BKB emphasis and the requirement of TA and Bloodseeker not to be kited. So I really think for Lilgun, this game needs to end, or they need to get like 2 full sets of barracks off this next stages.
Yeah, I don't think their positions. Hopefully, I think 17% is not giving them credit. They've got this B. Like, I would say it's probably 30% maybe, but Scott, they haven't got crazy damage to deal with him. I mean, they've got a lot of silence. This TB's game is a little bit rough. He's very reliant on his teammates. Like, he can't just have his teammates die, otherwise the kiting problem gets really bad. Like, he needs his teammates to lock him down. He needs them to be using their like defensive stuff on him.
They silence a creep.
Oh no!
They've got the Bowers. Wait, the Mystic Flare's on the cliff. Oh no! Oh, it's so awkward. What's going on? He's got the abilities back up. Oh, he's going to use them to the left. Okay, goes to the right. He's got no mana. He's got no mana. He's dead. They're going to chase him. I don't think he makes it out with no mana. I don't know how he's going to be able to found the strike afterwards. They get all the silence they would ever need, and
Think of it as a
oh
new
no! Zura's gone.
Yeah, I think the Mystic Flare has been invisible for me all game.
Oh really? Oh yeah, okay.
I'm a little bug. I remember seeing bottom lane, someone was just dying over time. Like, oh, I guess that's Mystic Flare. And now, like, I'm just not seeing a single Mystic Flare. It definitely makes it good interesting.
And again, it's okay. Okay, we'll be upgraded shortly to Dota 3.
Dream on with that one with Valve. Valve and James going to 3. I don't know.
Courier has been killed.
But yeah, this is a tough game for Puck. You want to be split pushing away. He's only died twice. Honestly, considering the heroes we're against, hats off to Azura. He's had a solid game. Needs this Lincoln Sphere, needs any defensive items he can get. I honestly just expect him to go like Lincolns and A on disc or something. Maybe just needs whatever he can just to be able to stay alive. They're playing around these trees mid, but Sankin's being scouted by a trap. Again, these traps are just you know, you want to use these parts of the map where you think you're being sneaky and take that away.
Roche is gone. Dude, they got a DD. Sanctity ages Agshard, and alright, this is it, Lilgun. This is the ages. This is the ages to really break this game open.
It's such a vision thing. The only reason, like, yeah, okay, the big reason is DD, but I'd say the bigger reason is the traps, like the vision they're getting. The reason they know they're not going to get jumped in the Roshan pit there is because they saw everybody. They saw 2 heroes sitting on this psionic trap in the mid lane, and then they saw them smoke on the trap, but they knew Roche was like already dead by the time they smoked, so.
Zero. No! They're gonna miss the Balmus again. Or he should be okay.
Or, okay.
Radiant's
very
top
fast.
tower is under attack.
He's starting to... The team needs to connect to the park. Everyone else a little bit slow, actually, on Lilgun to follow up.
Radiant's top
They're
tower
signaling. They just want to focus these objectives. Like, let's not chase these heroes around. No need to chase ghosts. Let's just focus the objectives. They're playing around the void. They've left the Radiant Sentry almost as like a little bait there on that cliff. I think they know, like, okay, maybe they're going to think it's, you know, there's no wards up here because of their sentry. Finally, they'll take it out. At this point, Army Geniuses are probably well and truly just going to be forced to turtle in their own base.
I don't think they're not in a position, though, to take a fight. I think it just has to be in the right place, where you have a ward on the higher ground, where you're able to... It gets it up in a choke point where Wommy can finally get a jump onto multiple heroes, where the coil is going to be able to protect the egg. And if they have that opportunity, then I think the fight can go well. It doesn't even matter if they have the ages. But the issue is now that you're going to lose full map control, where you can't get those wards set up in that location.
They don't want to play higher on the fence. They want to go be aggressive.
Onto the Bloodseeker. The chain control needs to be perfect. If they can get the BKB off them, 423 does. He's going to be able to run out of range of the Supernova. DB's trying to chase him down. Meanwhile, they're able to get rid of Wommy. But the coil leashes them together. DB's going to look to enter the fight with the Metamorphosis. There's plenty of damage to get rid of both supports. But can the Terrorblade do it by himself now? Turns with the Sunder, trying to stand toe-to-toe versus Sanctity to keep him on the TA. Has the second life to play with. Buybacks coming out from either side, but they should be able to set up for round 2 on Army Geniuses. They have the damage over time to go through Sanctity with the BKB already on cooldown. They get the TA. Now they can look to chain this into more kills as Kishka. Well, he rejoined the fight. The Skadi slowed the damage over time. There's no trees to play with. And it's Zurified. It's a triple kill. So Army Geniuses, they hold off the aged advantage, and maybe now they might be back in this game.
We're seeing what this TP can do now. He's coming online, and it's starting to look a whole lot better for Army Geniuses. This Marcy made some great plays with the initiation there, just using this rebound to get these disposals off to start things off. Sankin willing to put his body on the line to get a good initiation off, and yeah, it's just a great call. Jump on the Bloodseeker, the hero without ages, even though he has BKB, and they don't immediately actually survives. It forces Lilgun to take this fight that they don't really want to fight into a TB who was just unstoppable. Metamorphosis, he's almost level 25 now.
Is under attack.
This TB, big problem.
Soon to be Butterfly. I also just want to quickly mention Titan Sliver. This game is like one of the better items TB could have gotten. Someone,
For sure.
A little bit of magic resistance, which is incredible versus kind of some of the bursts you were saying. Maybe he's just looking to tank off against the Claire bottom lane. Azura Wommy with 4-3. He should be able to get the Sand King. He's actually going to look to TP out instead. Do they double back with the Fiend's game? 11's going in. Oh no, what's going on? 11 is in, is out, snatch and grab, and he's out with murder.
So good. That's so. That is the way to use a Fiend's game. I love. That's something new. For a second, I was like, is Bloodseeker going to cancel his TP? He could have canceled his TP to kill the Sand King. Then he may have died because Puck was there, could dream call him. But why stop your TP when you've got an Underlord?
Radiant are scanning.
All right, this is a big item, Parker. We got Avarish now with the gem. So you've been speaking a lot about the vision and what the traps has been providing them. So finally, now that Army Geniuses should be able to at least minimize some of the effectiveness from the traps.
Yeah. I feel like the vision has been such a part of Lilgun controlling the map and controlling this game. Maybe a bigger issue is going to be the fact that they're just getting more farm across the board. Like, Sanking has the same 3 position, same net worth as like a 4-position monkey. This monkey has Orchid and soon to be Hex. Underlord is like transitioning into attack. He's going to level it. BKB, shift his guard. He's right-clicking. Plus 250 damage, you know. Like, in these fights, if he is able to bring this bonus damage to a fight, you can't really deal with the TB or right-click down the TB, but everyone else can definitely melt for this Underlord.
Uh-oh. We have a double damage rune on Sanctity again, and 25. TB's going to be farming under a trap. They are all nearby. Oh, this is gets a linkage, but look at the damage coming through. Wommy instantly with a power strike, holding Sanctity back, but he's able to get the blink. They're going to try and turn to deal with the egg, but they don't have the right clicks. It's a really heavy commitment though from Army Genius. It's multiple ultimates force out the top to fight, but they're going to turn to drag, bring down Sanctity. Coil out, damage from TB. They just blow Sanctity up, no remorse from them, and they're going to move this onto another kill. Azura though needs to be cautious, mix the flare along with the pit. He'll just get out. Army Geniuses again though, another successful skirmish.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, man, that honestly could have and should have been so good for Lilgun. One missing Boundless Strike and Puck there is just so costly. Like, that Puck just instantly dies. Like, he should die during the Boundless Strike. Maybe Marcy tries to save him with a Dispose, but I think even that isn't enough. But yeah, you miss the Boundless Strike. It means that Puck is able to get the Yule. Like, he gets silenced, but then he just Yule Scepters himself and stays alive. So misusing your spells or missing a spell can just have such dire consequences at this stage of the game.
Oh, okay. DB's actually opted for the Trickster Cloak instead. So 20% magic resistance and a bunch of evasion on top of the butterfly. Okay, I was going to say you need an MKB, but Templar Assassin has one at least.
Kind of like the Titan Sliver more. I'm a little surprised to see this. I mean, the magic, he's just so tanky. Now that he's 25, it doesn't make him tanky, but now, you know, he's just super high level. The magic resistance plus evasion just means doesn't die to either physical or magic damage all that easily.
What's the... This is big. Parker's right. He's going to have 25. This great wave coming up, but he should be able to get the jungle as well. That's so important now. I mean, we've seen the eggs multiple times. It has been going off these past couple of fights, and now with Coil to protect it. Oh, no, we didn't. Okay, well, they were starting to come bottom, so hope he gets it before the fight.
Like, these late game fights, killing the egg just gets harder and harder. Like, those early fights went really bad because Norman would kind of egg in the front lines and, you know, the egg would melt. But now that there's all these, like, items, it's a level 3 egg, so it's just way harder to kill. And no one's hitting it easily. Like, with a Puck Coil, like, level 25 Puck Coil, good luck killing an egg if you're trapped in that. So it does feel like the fight's only getting better and better for Army Geniuses. Win probability is only up to 32%. If anything, I feel like this game is 50-50 at best, or I think you could even make an argument it's Army Geniuses favored right now. That's how good I think they're positioned.
It's funny you bring that up because that's honestly the point I was going to mention there. Yeah, I really feel like this is Army Geniuses' game now. It's gotten to that stage where we've spoken a lot about the late game and then Terribly being a really nice answer to the Templar Assassin. So what's your thoughts on this refresher on 423? It's a bit of an interesting item choice.
Radiant are scanning.
Double BKB, really? I mean, gets to refresh some of his spells and ruptures and stuff too, but I think, you know, it's just like this new late game carry. I like it a lot. Like, the rupture doesn't get like crazy good against these heroes, but
I don't even know what's going on. Dude, they just... Alright, so what do we got? DB got Scepter, and he has Ages, and I believe that she's given over to the Sand King.
Ags, Terror Wave coming in, so... Sure how good this could be. Coming out. Smoke, they want to get a jump here with Wormy in the front lines. Wormy gonna feel like he can actually play a bit more aggressive with Cheese now.
Spider Legs too is very important for the Sand King, just how he's able to position and maybe get an inch closer a separate location where they probably won't expect the Sand King to come from. So he's up to level 22. We'll see what he can do to the later stages. Really relying on him to get that start, but it's, well, Army Geniuses, they're going to have the net worth lead for the first time this game if this tower goes down.
That's the act, yeah, the act. I was like, I was like, wasn't it just like a 6k gold lead for Lilgun? But yeah, getting in one Ag's Blessing, that's like 6k net worth or something, so all of a sudden, yeah, they're the ones in complete control. They keeping Lilgun in their bases, and you know, Lilgun, it just feels like they're waiting for a mistake to happen. We're not seeing any from Army Geniuses. Lilgun are feeling the pressure. They know their draft has not snowballed the way they would have hoped it for, and they don't have any answers for this TP, so they're gonna get put under pressure. TP could just walk at their base and just poking at these buildings. The illusions alone won't get the job done. No, those do get easily cleared out. So I feel like Army Geniuses may have to wait for some kind of a pickoff here.
Not going to be easy to find though. Kishka can deal with the side lanes very easily. Their high ground defense is incredible with the Underlord.
A prize!
Trying to lay a trap up top, but no one's falling for that one. They actually scanned it out. As soon as Puck TP top, he threw a scan there, and I think he saw something coming his way, so I love the discipline here. You see nobody farming this top creep wave. As Kishka and Ace, someone's coming. Orchid plus Hex with a Skyreth. Like, you melt to this combo. Telescope Aetherlens. This Skyreth has insane, his cast range. Like Mystic Flare, he can cast from a mile away.
Invisibility!
Off the screen.
Holy. Oh my god, where do you go 20? Oh, the global concussive.
Level 20 Skyreth, he's doing a lot of damage. The Ancient Seal, that Insta Silence is crazy cast range too. There's a Hex, so I mean, this Skyreth is someone you definitely can't ignore in a team fight. Especially as your BKBs get shorter and shorter.
What do you do though if you're Army? Finally? Yeah, they'll take whoever they can get in the Marcy. Oh, they waited long enough. The patience paying off. Oh, Zura. He gets a coil to 2. The rest have raided their suit to connect. Woman's going to be in with the epicenter. Supports. Locked outside the base. They should be able to bring them down easy like that. DB standing ground, so they won't be able to move in from Lilgun. Hang on, Puck. Ooh, okay, Lincoln's gonna protect him. Got the gem.
I'm sure wear up on tanking, so. What's the buy? I guess, you know, the patience kind of paid off, but it felt like Army Geniuses almost knew they were waiting to do that because they responded so rapidly.
What he did is declare. He almost ticked out. Alright, he will tick out.
Eruption, yeah. This is so annoying for TV to play. I mean, that Aegis was expiring in a minute, so it's not like the end of the world. I don't think they were going to get high. Honestly, like going high ground against this Lilgun draft is just so obnoxious. Skyreth, high ground defense, like anybody who gets stunned or rooted just seems to melt. And then you've got Rupture where like you don't want to move in Rupture, but then suddenly there's a Mystic Flare in your head. It's like staying alive.
So is this just a... I was just is this just a hole inside the base for until Roche? Like, what's in store for us for the next couple of minutes?
To me, this is where Army Geniuses play like the, you know, the starvation game. Like you're gonna hide in your base. Well, we're not gonna, you know, try and siege your impenetrable fortress. We're just gonna sit outside and wait till you run out of food. Wait till you get hungry, because this 4 or 5k gold lead will very quickly become 10, 15k if Lilgun aren't leaving their base to go farm. Right now, Army Geniuses can farm the entire map, can farm all the jungle, can wait for Roshan, can get all these power runes. DD in a team fight, we see TB get a bottle passed over to him, so he's going to have a bottled up DD. It just gives Army Geniuses basically the balls in their court. They can get super fat, they can wait for that key moment to take a fight, unless, oh my god, Puck just blinked in, popped the smoke and got out. That was honestly so damn good. Because Lilgun were finally like, screw this, if we're in our base, we're gonna lose. We gotta go out and make something happen, and then Azura's there ready.
Doesn't look like they have any more smokes as well to play with on Lilgun. You're probably now needing to talk as a team on and how you take this next fight, and more than likely it's going to be for Roche. What is... Puck's coming! Wait, TNT too! No, what's going on? Templar says you have to hope she's gonna buy back because she is without a Supernova to cancel the Dark Grip back in. Everyone is in the base. What's Fresh doing?
Honestly, passing game to the new Fiend Skate, like they Fiend Skated just to go to the secret shop. TA wanted in too. She bought an Aeon disc? I don't know if she just bought it then to like save her life. But very patient. Like Sanctity waited to BKB until Coil was done so that to make sure that he could get home in the Dark Rift. That Dark Rift lasted just long enough to get him out of there.
And that kill gets him out on the map, so now Kispo won't be able to deal with because Azura Wami instantly making sure they can protect the wall, but Wami's stuck on the high ground, so the Mystic Flare's going to be enough to get the kill. Maybe they can track to the puck next as well. Control, that's the question. Can they lock the puck into place? Gets the full distance, the Jaw's going to look for a TPR. Azura can get him! Atos is there, the nick of time, and Azura is cleaned up.
This game is just so chaotic. Like the way Lilgun have to approach every fight is just in such scrappy fashion. They can't do like a let's run at them as 5 and take a 5v5 team fight the honorable way. They've got to do all these like cutesy, scrappy plays to stand a chance, and they're just executing this chaotic gameplay so well that they finally found the openings to get these kills. How good buyback as to Sand but it always feels like it doesn't feel good to buyback just to save one lane of racks, but it could become 2 very quickly with bottom lane also exposed.
What? Look at the first one's the siege when Army Geniuses felt like they were in the lead. They're gonna buy back on puck, but the root gets them out. The land coin, but look how long this pin is, TP. He's on the 3rd time. Oh my god, this talent of the root TV just can't close the distance to buy back on the puck. A full set of barracks and Lilgun, they are out.
Yep. And Underlord playing with a Timeless Relic as well. He's been swapping back and forth a bit, and now they're back bottom. They defend top, and now they come in.
Oh no.
I don't know if Army G's are going to be ready for this. They should be, because they're not going to see anybody top at all. So they're playing on their, in their triangle around their high ground. They get some wards down. Roshan's back in 30 seconds. Both teams going to have their eyes closely focused around the pit very soon, or if maybe, already, because they don't know this respawn time.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Of course there's a DD. Why wouldn't there be a goddamn DD? Oh, where'd Wami's Corey just die? I've been looking for the 2nd gem. I don't know where it is.
You're sending it out to save the gem?
Maybe Varish just bought one as well, so alright, that's big. Now you at least have a gem, because Lilgun had this advantage of, I mean, we've spoken about the gem this game, but the fact that Army Genius maybe, Trap could scout out Roche or the supports on the backline, but this is it. I mean, this Roche fight is going to be so important again. What's his 4th, 5th Roche? I don't know. Oh, not a DD Terrorblade.
Repping there. Okay, that's it. He still had the Philosopher's Stone. He finally... I was like, dude, you have a Timeless Relic. Don't swap in it. You can't swap in and out. You just gotta keep the neutral item you want. Like, that Philosopher's Stone gold is just not game-changing enough at this point. Teams posturing. Both teams smoked. Everything coming down to this next Roshan. Everyone, like, all these level 25s coming into play now. These fights are about to get real crazy.
Kill the trap. Roche, kill the trap. Kill the trap in the pit. Oh no.
No.
Kill the trap.
Yeah, his refresher, I think, is the really big item pickup that's going to maybe could change the outcome of these fights. Like, if they get kited and, they're scrappy Lilgun, let's pick them apart one by one using this crazy Skywrath cast range, the Mystic Flare and whatnot, then it doesn't matter. But if TP can utilize double BKB, double meta, that should be the king of late game team fights.
Trying to get Narman close to that 25. Tome's going to be delivered over to the Phoenix, but so you have to hit 24 as well, so they will not have that extra talent for this team fight, and more than likely the Supernova hit count.
They can't worry too much about it right now. Phoenix does a buyback. Manages to afford an Aeon disc. It may just not be worth it. I think this is where just having these buybacks can be so key in these late game fights.
Even Kishka's level 25, just got the bash completed with the monkey, so he's got so much control. He's going every item he can to control Army Geniuses. Orchid, Hex, now a basher.
Radiant are scanning.
Puck got Aeon? No, he's got a ZX cap at least. Of course, he bought back recently. Both Sky and Marcy's buyback just coming off cooldown. Marcy doesn't have enough gold though, if required, but this is huge that Azure does not have a buyback to play with, so if they can get the puck, then it's a big target for Lilgun.
Teams. It's great. I actually think like the longer games go, in some ways, Roshan starts to matter a little bit less. Like it's still super important. There's a reason teams play around it, but like it's a lot harder. Like this TB's already got 9 items, like plus a neutral item. Like he can drop his bottle, but like taking an Aegis is possible, but it's easier. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Look at the jump! Sanctity! Protected for the air for the moment. He's only got 11 playing behind it, but the core's going to lead them together, and DB is just going to charge up the high ground. The feed to look to break the coil. Supernova directly dropped on the dome as well, but Sanctity, they haven't killed off the TA just yet. Escaping to the north, they need to be cautious. DB doesn't get the Sunder. It'll come at a cost. They'll lose the Templar Assassin, but 423 just might be able to clean up. Meanwhile, Woman's going to look for a TP out. He'll be successful along with the Phoenix. So somehow Army Geniuses, multiple heroes make it out, but buybacks as well from Lilgun.
Oh, I mean the fight, like the TP was like one of the first big cores to die. The fight looked doomed for Army Geniuses, but somehow the nukes from coming out from the puck, as well as Norman, actually managed to finish off the TH post PKB. Oh, dude! Oh no!
I don't know if you can make that play. He pulled back before.
Oh, and that is the perfect timing for that. Don't worry, we all make mistakes, says Sanctity. Oh man, but as far as mistakes go, that one could have just cost Army Geniuses a Division 1 slot. They're not out of it just yet. TB has buyback. Plus, he's back in 40 seconds here, so still chance for a high ground defense, but Puck without buyback going for that Aegis deal. Like, I think you just gotta give him an Aegis there. It's not the end of the world to give him an Aegis, but
they're going to
the end of the game. Yep. You want to at least force TB's buyback. Like, he has it.
He's in trouble. Lucky Woman's got a buyback, but yeah, you're right, TB. He's got to force his own buyback just to protect the buildings now.
Got another metamorphosis with the refresher.
You just got to buy back on Wommy.
It feels that way.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Here's the Wukongs.
Energy buyback. It's just such a bad spot to be in because you throw these buybacks, but you don't get any kind of engagement.
And they're just using the rupture to control them.
Radiant's
Like the
middle
rupture
tower
at the back, and that's a really early BKB usage, and DB refreshes on cooldown.
Radiant's middle
That's
tower.
metamorphosis. What is that in there?
Okay, that's a lot of damage. They almost get 4-2-3. He's trying to play around with the sustain down to the south. Phoenix, he's killed off, but he does have a second life to utilize.
Another egg.
Who else is on the right? Nalman. Trying to solo kill Kishka, but the Sunray should be able to do it. Where's the rest of Lilgun? They're having their own fight in the middle. Super over to private. Meanwhile, DB, Throat's exposed. I think they've got to go for the heroes instead. And DB's gone 4-2-3. They've done it. Lilgun just ripped apart one by one, and they have secured a slot into Division 1 with this series victory.
Oh, what a crazy game 3. Holy moly, that was a wild ride.